Hey, welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday. It's December 9th, 7:10. Hope everybody's enjoying the Friday so far. Good morning. We're here to get you going like we always do. Vic Faust alongside Tabitha Hassel, Eric Johnson en route. He had a concert last night. I was wondering what time Eric would show up this morning after his concert. PRL was lighting up the factory in the St. Louis, Missouri area, Chesterfield to be exact. Producer Mike Wilkerson alongside as well. A big show today, as we always have. As you know what we do here, it is Cancel This. Go to cancelthisshow.com. Once again, cancelthisshow.com. Today, coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, Kasia Staki. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Well, yes. She has a much longer Polish name.
Can you attempt it?
No.
Come on, our Polish community will love the effort.
But she prefers just Kasia Staki. That'll make it a little easier for all of us.
Kasia Staki. Kasia is going to be coming in talking about the real effects of communism, witnessing it, experiencing it as a younger person, and realizing, wait a second, some of the things we see going on in this country, reminder of what she tried to leave from.
Yes.
And we've had people over the years during a radio show talk about these situations, talk about you don't really know what it's like to deal with something like this. And the last place we want to see it is America. So she'll come in on the 9 o'clock hour. If you have questions, let us know from that standpoint. Also, big news coming out this morning. That's another reason why we do this live podcast. Yes, we're creating content, original content that goes to our library that you can check out. Interviews just like we had yesterday with an extremely liberal, even though he said, I am far left of liberal. I think that's what he said yesterday. Isn't that right? Mark Kaysen, I think he said, oh, you call me a liberal, but I'm far left of liberal. I went, oh.
That's called mental illness.
I know that's what you call it. I talked to him last night. He loved it. You can catch that interview within the show. We put that in, those shows on our website and the platforming, the streaming platform services that we're on, streaming live on Facebook and Rumble and YouTube. And we're glad everybody's joining us this morning. I spoke to him last night. He said, you guys were wonderful. I was like, oh, gee, thanks, Mark. My mother, who was listening in California, we have listeners, of course, all across the country, said, you guys were very patient. She said, Tabitha was very patient. She's like, I thought Tabitha would have been going after him a little more. And
I would have.
I was like, Mom, that was actually because Eric was all over Mark, trying to defend what was going on there.
Yes,
so,
he was.
You can go ahead and check out that content as well. Big story today, as I was talking about, what we do. We're a news show, live political commentary, news commentary, society, culture, and cancel culture at the heart of everything. Because it seems like every day or every other day, at least every week, there's some sort of cancel story out there. People being canceled, traditions being canceled, people not allowed to speak their voice without somebody or some group or somebody coming after them or coming after you and saying, no, we don't like what you say. We're going to hurt you. Or, oh, no. You went through something. No. We want to pound you into the ground. We want to kick dirt on you and so forth. We're going to talk about the assault on Christmas. We had a businessman in yesterday. You didn't even realize that you said happy. Oh, yeah, we got a holiday party. And I know your heart and you're always about Christmas.
Well, no. And you know what? It's so funny that you mentioned that because I thought about that so much when I left here. And really, I think what it was is I was really intending to say kickoff party because that's really what it is and not so much a holiday party. But then when I say the word holiday party, I'm always thinking combining the holidays. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, it's a holiday party because trust me, I am all about Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and let us know, is it a problem to say happy holidays? Is it, or are you demeaning Christmas if you don't say Merry Christmas or a quote Christmas party?
I'm not offended by either.
Neither am I.
But I prefer Christmas because that's what it is.
It was just interesting. We had a gentleman in yesterday. He is plus 60, massive company throughout the Midwest. And he said, when you said, oh, yeah, it's a holiday party, he looked at you and he goes,
I loved it.
He said, honey or darling or something. He's like, go ahead. You can say Christmas party. It's all right in his deep voice.
And I'm so glad he said that because it's going to make me more aware of the words I use because I am all about Christmas.
And we're going to jump in there in a second. Elon Musk following Micah Parsons, arguably the best defensive player in the NFL right now is Micah Parsons, a linebacker with the Dallas Cowboys. Boy, oh boy, did he have something to say about the Biden administration's quote trade, quote swap for Brittany Griner. At the end of the day, putting things in context, I'm glad Brittany Griner is on her way home. That's a great thing, getting her out of Russia. We can all say, you know, she shouldn't have been there. Yeah, she broke a law there. If you break a law in a certain country, you have to pay the price. I get it. She's an American. We're glad she is back home. Now, that's not the bad thing. The bad thing is how Vladimir Putin totally made Joe Biden look like a bigger fool than Joe Biden makes himself look like already. Sorry, just calling it how it is. Micah Parsons, an African-American linebacker, came out and ripped the hit out of, you know who, the Biden administration for making a trade, which for all intents and purposes was, let's just say, as Eric would give an analogy, it was the Golden State Warriors of the last 5 years playing Francis Howell High School basketball team. It did not go well. It was terrible. Brittany Griner's on her way home. That's good news. The bad news is we traded for a convicted Russian arms dealer. And on top of it, we left a Marine behind.
Where's the good news? I don't see any good news with her.
The good news is she's coming back home. I have somewhat of a heart, Tabitha. I'm sorry.
Well, I guess I don't, because I think she should stay in Russia. I think she belongs in Russia.
A lot of people agree with you.
I don't think we should be bringing him back. And I don't think I have a dark heart for saying that. I think that she broke the law in another country, and people need to start learning a lesson that, you know what, when you go into another country, you respect their rules. Just like we want people to come into our country and respect our rules.
No, I get it. I totally get it.
And we have a Marine, and I feel bad because yesterday I kept thinking journalist, and it was actually a Marine. I should know that. Still sitting over there in Russia. What are we doing?
Well, yeah, it's American Paul Whelan. He was left behind, and it's in this Russia-U.S. power struggle. You would have thought that he would have at least been in that. I mean, if you disagree, please let us know, because it gives me chills when I think how stupid, pathetic, and weak our country, our administration is representing this country for leaving him behind. But we're going to give you an arms dealer. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Once again, good Brittany home. Bad who we gave up. Horrible that we have left Whelan behind, unless a follow-up deal is coming for Paul Whelan. I'm giving the administration the benefit of the doubt here, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Yeah, there has to be a follow-up deal, a second deal of some kind to get that man home. Read into his story.
It's never going to happen. They've had all these years to bring him home, and no one cares. No one cares. No one does anything about it. And now they bring the merchant of death home.
And we're talking about the whole situation with Paul. What are you talking? Eric's walking into the studio. We love it. Did you have him turn the lights down? I feel like I'm going to go to sleep.
Yeah, our lights something's off today, and I'm just trying to figure out what it is.
It's you, Tabitha. You're off. It's too dark in here now.
It's like my camera's just all messed up.
Everything's all messed up today. Once again, I'm in the year 2000 with Conan O'Brien from many, many, many years ago, when he would put a flashlight underneath his face and say, in the year 2000.
I know. And everybody,
we're going to have to pop those lights back up at some point. I can only imagine what it looks like.
I think this is how it normally is every day.
No, not this dark.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I promise you. So anyway,
Eric comes in every day and he adjusts
this
the lights.
Is the darkness that has fallen upon the Biden administration, and we were given another example of it yesterday. The evil empire. I'm sorry. It just, that really, imagine sitting in a cell in Russia and you think your country is going to get you out, and you're still sitting there this morning. It just, so anyway, Micah Parsons. Good morning, Eric. As you jump into the conversation, we'll get you in here.
Good morning, Eric.
We'll talk about your night.
Don't take pot over to any country that is
not. It wasn't pot. It was hash.
Whatever it
hashish.
Is. Just, man, go over to overseas. You're a damn athlete in the first place, man. What are you doing taking pot over there? But, you know, the whole thing is, like, I think the bad news is that you have Putin using this as a complete propaganda tool now, of saying, look, we just did it to those suckers again. And you know what I'm saying? It's like we all wanted her to come home. We would have liked her to come home with the damn team.
Hell yes.
Just get on the plane with that. So because they searched your bag and they said, oh, this girl does not have hash in her bag, so you can get on the plane and go back to the United States. Did anybody check to see if she took a knee whenever she got off the plane on
she
American?
didn't, and she
did not.
That's the problem. She has been
Was
very
she dragging the
un-American.
American flag on the ground when she got off the plane? Did anybody watch? I didn't see.
For intents and purposes, she probably was.
You think she's going to be standing the next time the national anthem's played?
No.
Here in the United States? You don't think she is?
No.
Wow.
She is anti-American.
No. She's anti-American.
Why do we care about her at all?
She's going to, that's.
Don't we have enough of them here? We got to bring one back.
We want to care about everybody, Tabitha. We try.
Yeah.
You try. I don't.
You know what it is? It's like one of those stories. It's getting to the point. I don't know about you guys. It's one of those stories that you would think, my God, finally it's getting the light of day that it deserves, and nobody cares. It's like whenever Tucker Carlson comes on Fox News and he talks about the border, and you're like, okay, now they're going to expose the border. Something's going to get done. Nobody cares. So I can't listen anymore. I'm to the point now where it's like, these stories are real. Brittany Griner should not have been traded for an enemy of the state. It's the truth. It is the truth. I'm glad she's back. She's an American citizen. But if you want to go tit for tat, give us our guy back, our Marine back, and then we'll worry about Brittany later.
That's
Brittany. Brittany was legitimately caught for a crime in that country. Okay.
Yeah.
She legitimately, if somebody came into this country and broke one of our laws and was convicted with proof behind that, then they deserve to be in jail. Okay. Putin is literally saying, we gave them a cubic zirconium and we got a 5-carat diamond.
Yeah, pretty much. And
Anyway,
you know who else
it's
is
just sickening.
taking note as usual, watching
Who's
what's
that?
going on? The rest of the world. They
Exactly.
watch. They see.
They
know.
Bingo.
The Americans are no longer the Rocky Balboa of the 80s. Drago destroys Rocky in this updated film.
It's worse than that. It's worse than that because now a tactic has been exposed. They remember back in the day, we talked about it yesterday, Ronald Reagan, we will not negotiate with terrorists. Boom. Yes, you will. You just negotiated with Putin for this thing. They will take American citizens, whether it's Saudi Arabia, whether it's Iran, whether it's Russia, whether it's China, doesn't matter. They will tell you if you go over to China, well, first of all, the United States wouldn't want you back or me. So they will take you, imprison you, and then they will use you as a negotiating tip.
They wouldn't, Eric, not us, or not be anyone like us. What's so crazy about this is this thing with Brittany Griner. The only reason why they are bringing her back is because she hates this country.
You think that's
they
right?
They can't stand to lose
you
one
might be
person
right.
that hates this country as much as she does.
Yeah.
That's why they're bringing her back.
Speaking of hate, I hate the Dallas Cowboys. Outside of Ezekiel Elliott, his dad and I played football together at Mizzou. So I
knew that. That's cool.
I backed up Stacy, his dad. Yeah, when I was younger.
That's
I backed him up. Yeah. Stacy was a giant and had talent. I was small and didn't. But he was 3 years older than me. But yeah, so I grew up. Stacy kind of showed me the ropes at Mizzou when I was there. And I love Stacy's mom, Ezekiel's mom.
Right.
Dawn. And anyway, so I root for Ezekiel to do well.
Yeah, me too.
I love it when he's like, feed me when he does well. However, I despise the Cowboys. But I got another favorite in the Dallas Cowboys.
What's that?
Because arguably the best defensive player in football right now is Micah Parsons, linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys.
That guy is a monster. Yes.
When he chimed in and somebody tried to cancel him. You know how it goes. Somebody puts their true feelings out there. Then somebody else tries to walk him back. They delete the tweets and so forth. There it goes. When he heard about this yesterday, he said, quote, wait, no, we left a Marine. Hell no.
Yeah.
He's like, he said, quote, we still not voting for you, talking to President Biden.
Yeah. Well, he's the minority
he
mouth.
He tweeted this.
Yeah.
And then he's had a follow-up post because somebody got a hold of him. Oh, don't you dare rip President Biden. How dare you? The Dallas Cowboys. Oh, we're going to have oh my God, we're afraid of everybody now.
Right.
We're afraid we're going to be canceled.
Right.
He said, quote, no shot at Brittany Griner, which I'm glad that he went on to say. He said, I'm the furthest thing from a Trump supporter, but I'm not a fan of Biden either.
Yeah.
Thank you for being honest, Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Number one, that's one man you'd love to hang out with. one man you don't want to see on a football field if you're wearing the opposite color.
No.
That's a fact. But he did have to backtrack.
Oh boy.
His full quote was, "My last tweet was no shot at Brittany Griner. I'm super happy she's back home, as she said, as she should be. I just have family who have served in the military. And it's crazy to me that President Biden wouldn't bring him home too, talking about Marine Whalen. I'm the furthest thing from a Trump supporter, but I am not a fan of Biden either."
Good.
No man left behind. Isn't that the motto? No matter what, no man left behind. And they're leaving this guy behind. They are literally,
because he's not black and
you're,
gay.
If you are the United
She said because he's not black and gay.
Man, Tabitha
is on the warpath.
She
But you
is.
know what? That's what we love. Be honest.
Yeah.
Speak your mind, speak your truth. That's
Yeah.
what we do.
Well,
here.
I was actually referring to a comment on the comment line. That's what someone said, and I
Oh,
agree.
Okay.
I don't agree with that. I mean, I don't know that I don't agree with that. This world is so nutty. I can't even put a finger on it. But it would be like, you're the United States of America. You're the United damn States of America. You are representing us. You can't go over to Switzerland and negotiate with those guys and say, look, you want your God of War back? Yeah, we'll give him to you. We don't really need him. But I'll tell you what, you're giving us that damn Marine and you're giving us Brittany Griner.
We don't have.
And we'll start with the Marine first, and then we'll work our way down to Brittany Griner. We know you caught her with some pot or some hash or whatever. It seems a little excessive to us. Let's put that to the side. That Marine for your God of War.
Marines are terrorists now. Didn't you know that? Under the
I did not
Biden
know that. Who told you that?
administration?
They are.
All military members, especially ones who may be conservative or have supported Trump,
Yeah.
are legitimately domestic
I would have
terrorists.
thought in the last election that the Achilles heel for the last election would have been the way that we got out of Afghanistan. Remember how pissed off we were? Does anybody in this room remember how pissed off we were when 13 servicemen are killed trying to get out of Afghanistan? It looked like it was Beirut on crack, basically. But it didn't seem to affect the American psyche. They went into the voting booth and they voted for abortion, apparently. And they voted for these social issues, apparently, in Georgia or whatever it was. But it doesn't seem like the things that should be pissing us off are really pissing
That's
us
what
off.
they
Well, this
want
is
you to
one of
think.
them. This is
You
one
think
of
this
them.
will stick?
No, but
You don't
here's
think
the
this
other
will
thing.
stick? I don't either.
What do you mean stick?
I don't think that
Like a black eye in the administration?
I
No.
don't think so. I think they
No.
basically
It's something else will take the news
Didn't they
and
mark-
then the next week.
didn't Biden
But-
march this out yesterday and kind of like, look, we succeeded.
Yeah, of
Yay, go
course.
team.
But as we've talked about, with all due respect, does Joe really know what day it is? Does Joe really know all the details of what just happened? There is no way in hell he knows all the details.
He
of-
probably has very little
I'm
idea.
sorry. I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
His choices are vanilla or
Well,
chocolate.
don't
We
say
have
that anymore,
seen-
Vic. Don't say that
We
anymore.
have
Just
seen him the last
it's not about
2 years. I mean, how many times have we put video out on this show and our previous radio show where the poor man is stumbling around, confused, dazed, shaking hands with people who aren't even there, to the air, mumbling, smelling kids in the back. You've seen the video, smelling people's hair. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know I'm right. And you can't disagree.
and
I mean,
worse.
yeah, possibly
And
worse.
far worse.
But not only was Micah Parsons coming out, Elon Musk coming out as well against the president. So not only is Elon Musk releasing countless pages of information that Americans want to see, and I'm grateful that we're seeing it, he's also taking a stand. Does he want to someday have a political office?
I can't believe you just said that.
I'm just curious. Why is he becoming so vocal?
I can't believe you just said that. I was just thinking the same thing.
We're on the same page.
know.
You know, we were in the same zip
Friday.
code last night.
It's Paranormal Friday.
We ended up in the same zip code.
How's
last night.
that?
Well, I was across the street from you at a place.
Excuse me, where were you at?
I was at an exotic sports. I got invited to
An
a-
erotic sports car. What's
an
an
erotic and exotic holiday sports party. No,
Mm,
exotic car. It was an exotic car show, holiday party
nice.
type of deal. But it was in the Chesterfield Valley.
Right.
I saw a bunch of cars I could never imagine myself being in. That's what I
Mhm.
was talking about.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting? And I found out again another thing, how the other 1% lives. Everybody, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 people, every one of them a business owner except one.
You know that's right. You can't
But,
build.
I mean,
You can't build wealth working for someone else.
No,
well,
you
it's
cannot.
you can in the right situation.
Who? I'm where?
Well, if you're
Well,
there
I've got
for
a couple
many
friends
years,
who've worked in the medical industry. They're not owners, but they've made a ton of money.
Okay, yeah, I stand corrected.
But at least 11, they're all business owners.
Yeah.
And I was like, gee, what's the common denominator here of everybody that has these exotic sports cars besides loving vehicles? Oh, they're all business owners.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. If that doesn't speak to that Mark guy that we talked to yesterday, nothing will.
And I heard you were over at the factory with PRL last night. Was it another
Yes.
sold out crowd?
What a great venue that is.
Is that the first time you played it?
It's the first time I've been in the
For our
place.
podcast listeners, if you don't know yet, Eric is a musician as well. Once a musician, always a musician.
Yeah. I tried to retire 20 years ago. It didn't work.
So back on subject from that standpoint, Elon Musk went after President Biden again, the same way that Micah Parsons did. He's like, you don't leave any man behind ever, ever, ever. As soon as the deal came out, of course, Elon talking about bringing home this victor bout to Russia. And of course, us leaving Paul Whelan, our American Marine, back in Russia. So Musk came out. He said, quote, never leave a man behind. Never. Very interesting.
and
So-
exchange him for the Merchant of Death. Think
Does-
about that. That's this guy's
I know.
nickname, the
Does
Merchant of Death.
Does it
Aren't you
surprise?
pissed? Look at you, look pissed off today, Tabitha. I'm serious.
It's Friday. I've got my sparkles on.
Okay.
You do look
Nothing
good.
but happy on
Doesn't
my
she- my-
ends.
Can we get a sparkle sponsor,
Yeah.
please, for Tabitha
Or-
Hassel?
I
or a
Worse.
disco ball.
I
No.
wore sparkles for our 9 a.m. guest, Kasha Stocky. She's a personal friend and patriot, but she's a very sparkling personality. So
Oh, that's
I wore
nice.
sparkles for her.
Oh, that is beautiful.
I love it.
So getting back
No,
to
you need to
Elon.
wear sparkles every day, please.
Yeah, no, that
It works.
it offsets your dark soul.
Good.
I'm kidding. I'm
Something's got
kidding.
to.
It's joking with you, Tabitha. I would own the dark soul thing though, if I were you.
She
I do not
is.
have a dark soul.
Okay.
You know what? I tell the truth. Vic's kind of the
I'm just
vanilla
kidding.
version.
I'm just kidding.
Eric, sometimes, most of the time, I
I'm
agree with
kidding.
you.
Don't
Sometimes I have
slam
no
me.
idea.
I'm sensitive today.
You're sensitive every day.
No, can we get back
Like
to
all
Elon
men.
Musk, please?
Yes, we're back
Okay.
on Elon.
Let me just say what Vic said was exactly what I was thinking. And there's nothing in the news about Elon running for any office. Okay.
No, there is.
Okay. There's the but back in 2014, I saw Donald Trump on a Fox interview with Greta, whatever her name was. I can't remember her last
Van
name.
Sesteren.
Van Sesteren. And Donald was like, you know, the Chinese are absolutely destroying us with blah, 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 blah. He was like going on a tirade about what the Obama administration was doing to destroy the country. A tirade. And I was like, I was just sitting there thinking, I go, man, Trump looks like he might want to run for president or something like that. I have no idea. And boom, sure enough, just interview after interview after interview with people saying, would you be interested in running, including Oprah, would you be interested in running for president? And Donald goes, you know, I'll make the decision when,
Well,
if it ever comes up. I'm
Yes.
seeing the same thing with Elon.
But that was back in the year 2000.
I
Trump
understand.
decided to run
Yes.
because I was his campaign
Yes.
girl back in the year
What?
2000. You guys know this. We've talked
I
about
knew
I
it
didn't know this.
many
His
times.
campaign girl. I didn't
Back
know
in
this.
the year 2000 when he came through St. Louis with, of all people, Bill Clinton and
I love
Tony Robbins.
I love that Bill Clinton.
It's happening. to Hazel.
didn't do anything.
At
said she didn't want me to.
She got a sparkly dress. Go ahead.
So he's been
She does
thinking of,
now.
he had been thinking about running for president for many, many, many years. And I
Yes.
wish he would have done it
Okay,
sooner.
but now fast forward to the year 2022. Elon is pulling all the levers of showing up what this corrupt government is doing in the United States. You don't think one day he doesn't go as whatever he is, however he is mentally, him just going, yeah, you know, I'm doing this SpaceX thing, and yeah, March, I'm going to actually announce that I'm running for president.
I think he would win.
I mean,
as
think
an,
about
he
that
would
for a
win as
second.
an independent. I know that's
Yes.
a crazy statement.
I think
Everywhere I go, and maybe it's just the circles I run in.
Yeah.
People are thrilled that Elon has shown
But
up.
he cannot run for president.
I know because he's not here. He wasn't born here.
He was born in South Africa.
I
So-
get it.
So check this out. So Kristen Sinema, you just said the word independent.
Yeah.
Kristen Sinema is the Arizona
Yeah,
senator.
this is the other massive story.
but it segues.
Yes, it
It
does.
segues. You have this guy.
Well, let's jump in. First of all, you're on the record.
Yeah.
What's Elon going to do? Is he going to get associated with the party and really push it?
He's going to do something. I mean, there's no way that you take all of his.
He's never going to be a Democrat.
You
He's got a shot at following the Republican
If
Party.
he was anybody other than Elon Musk, he would have been canceled about 45 times by now.
People are trying to cancel him all the time.
All the time.
But they can't because of his money.
He makes a joke out of damn everything. He does this incredible release of all these documents at Twitter. That would have gotten anybody canceled, first of all. Okay. He has done a great service for the United States because the United States is this freedom of speech thing. That's what our logo is, freedom of speech. And he basically said, look, you got collusion between your government and this major network of ideas over here, and I'm going to expose it. And MSNBC's go up in flames, CNN people are up in flames, but the rest of the United States is like, damn, I didn't know that was going on. Shadow banning? What the hell was shadow banning? So he's done an amazing service. He will lose, listen to me, people, billions of dollars with Twitter. He will not make money with this thing. He will lose money.
He's
with
talking
this
about knocking out over 1 million accounts right now. 1.5, I think, million.
Wow.
I think it was him, not a B.
Wow.
Yeah, knocking him out.
Just for what reason?
I didn't have a chance. I just saw the headline.
He's well, you know what? Maybe it just means
I don't know if they're the bot accounts, the fake accounts
Yeah.
that we had heard that Twitter had put in there to up their value when he was trying to purchase Twitter in the first place.
You know what? Again, another reason it shows that he's not afraid to lose money. If you are selling to advertisers and you have 1 million accounts, I don't know what the deal is. I have to read through it. But if you have 1 million accounts that are fake accounts or whatever it is, you tell advertisers, hey, we have X amount of users on our platform for X amount of dollars. So when you delete all those accounts, you're losing money,
Well,
right?
he's deleting what with 1.5 billion accounts right now.
It is
okay with $1 billion.
Yeah.
1.5 billion accounts. Elon Musk is
What
going
the
to delete.
hell?
Good.
But these are all accounts, and some of them are probably bots. But these are accounts where if you have started a Twitter account and you haven't used it in years, and you haven't made any new posts or any new tweets,
that would be me. That would be me.
Then they're going to delete you.
I haven't.
So it's a use it or lose it. If you want to keep your Twitter account, you better use it.
But let's step back. We talk about this all the time, it would be great if someone would come into the city of St. Louis. Vic, the transitions are amazing around here. If you walked into the city, you walk into the city of St. Louis, if you were Elon Musk or a person like Elon Musk, and you walked into the city of St. Louis, you would basically write down all the problems of St. Louis on a whiteboard. And then you would figure out tactically how to fix all those problems. And that's what Elon's doing. He's basically going, look, I bought this propaganda engine. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's in my closet right now. First thing we got to do is clean up all the accounts. So if you haven't used them, get rid of them. Well, find out we got 1.2 billion of these accounts. All right, do that. The second thing is we're going to be a transparent company. So
this is a big problem.
Yeah. So if you
problem.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the whiteboard, it goes Twitter mission statement, transparent, free speech company. So the next thing we got to do is expose all the bull crap that they did in the past. That's what he's doing. That's what we need to do across the board. That's what a good CEO does.
That's never going to happen.
It's happening right now.
I just got out of Facebook jail. Speaking of it, earlier we talked about.
But be nice.
Yeah, don't get in jail again.
Be nice.
Tabitha, just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
I thought about the first thing I thought about this morning when I woke up is we talked to that communist last night at Cardinal Ritter School.
Yeah.
Cardinal Ritter Prep in
whatever
St. Louis,
that place
Missouri.
is called.
We're based out of St. Louis. We gear nationally, but we're based out of St. Louis.
Go ahead.
And he's talking about the oppressed students he teaches. I'm like, you know who is actually oppressed? Me, that just got banned for 30 days on Facebook. 3 days, no comments. 30 days, no live. And not just me, but conservatives just like me who are out there trying to tell the truth. And we can't tell the truth because if you try to speak the truth, guess what happens? You are oppressed.
You can't
you
handle
are suppressed.
the truth.
You're not allowed to speak the truth. I posted an article from the Military Times, okay? A legitimate article from the Military Times, and that got me banned. We are the people that are oppressed.
Did you learn a lesson?
No.
Did you feel shame?
No.
Did you go to your corner and just sit there and think about your mistake?
Yeah.
Tabitha
is the exception, not the rule.
And it just made me more mad. And so we need Elon to buy Facebook, Lube. I'm not going to say their real name because we'll get kicked off.
Oh.
And some of these other
Lube.
I thought you went into that cancel this
What
lube
the-
product. Join
what-
us at
Well,
canceltheshow.com.
remember,
It's the new
What is
cancel this
lube, lube?
with lube.
Brought to you by Lube.
Brought to you in your favorite blue color.
I can't. I don't know.
When things get sticky, get Lube.
I was trying to think of what Lou in the what's that movie we like?
Dude,
Hot
you
Tub
have knocked
Time
me off my
Machine.
game. You've knocked me off my
You
game.
know that movie Hot Tub Time Machine?
One of the
Very
best
well.
movies
Okay,
ever.
one of the best movies ever. And there's that guy on there, Lou, remember? And he goes back in time and reinvents everything.
Everything, yes.
And he calls it Lugal.
Lugal
And what
instead of Google.
what did he call it? LuTube? Is that I can't remember what he
Lube
called
Lube,
it.
instead of
Lube
YouTube.
tube.
So we're gonna have to start using those
Wow.
nicknames instead of the real names.
Lube tube.
Yeah, baby.
Join Tabitha Hassel tonight at 7:00 on Lube tube.
LuTube.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where are we going?
Maybe we need a hot tub time machine.
You have since I've
Where
known-
can we put a hot tub in the studio?
Well, right there.
You know what? We've got some open space. Maybe we could.
What if we just every guest we get in here, they have to go into the hot tub? Woo! And
Oh my
and the
God.
more controversial
That's
they
your
get,
man show 2 following. Cancel this.
No. It doesn't matter. The more controversial and stupid they sound, the hotter it gets. How about that? It starts off nice and cool and
Oh
whatever,
my
and then it's the more
Eric
dumb.
brain is
the-
on a roll.
Mark
this morning.
would have been fried yesterday. That Mark guy, he would have been.
I,
Taken
by the
down.
way, yeah. Mark Kaysen, as Tabitha brought up, Cardinal Ritter Prep professor, longtime professor, been around the St. Louis area for a long time in media. At least the man doesn't get angry, and at least
Oh no,
if
he
he's
loves
going,
it.
if he's going to spew what I call racism, even though he says everybody else is racist, at least he's doing it in a kind manner. He's not yelling and screaming at people that disagree. So you can
Oh.
actually have a conversation. And guess what? He listened to us 3-on-1. So
No, I
at
would.
least, but we're 3
I would
respectful
take
people.
I would take on 20 liberals. It wouldn't matter because you were not going to look. Here's the thing.
So you're a Republican today.
no, I'm not a Republican. I am a Christian cinema. I'm an independent. But
Kirsten is.
It'll change in the next hour.
okay,
I love your
I'm a
balance,
libertarian. I'm a libertarian. But the thing about Mark that I did appreciate is he owns his thoughts, and he does it with a very intellectual manner. He will never get me to think that programming young black people to think that they are oppressed is going to help them.
It
in life.
really is programming.
It will never happen in this because because the difference is if I see a young black guy and they want to make their life better, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to coach them. I'm going to tell them how to succeed. I'm going to tell them, get rid of that garbage out of your brain about being oppressed and the white kid is oppressing you. That is not going to help you in life. But that's what he does.
It's mental illness, Eric.
And he owns it. He owns it in his mind. Someone somewhere told him that the CRT is a good way of doing business. It's not. It basically is keeping these kids down. I am so sick about it. But you know what? I'm not a professor. I'm just this guy off the street that thinks the human brain is a computer. The human brain, put this in the back of your mind, everybody on the Facebooks and whatever. The human brain is a computer. And whatever you put into it is what's coming out. You see what I'm saying? If you put into a school system, good education, and this is what, look at the Chinese people. The Chinese culture has no business. They do not care about CRT. The Chinese people want to basically get their kids to succeed in life. So they teach them the basics: God, religion, a good education, and make as much money as you can. And so I think that the problem with Mark is he's never going to change our mind, and we're never going to change his. That's a problem.
But people can change their minds. Look at Kirsten Sinema, who you brought up when we started talking about the topic. Kirsten, Democratic senator from Arizona, says, you know what? I'm done with the Democratic Party. That's massive, especially in this day and age when the Senate is so tightly contested. She says, I'm done. She's not going Republican. She's going independent. But her quotes to say that she doesn't want to be a Democrat anymore, they're massive. If you followed us on The Edge, you know that we had on former Congressman, or Representative, Rodney Davis from Illinois. Rodney spoke highly of Kirsten Sinema, talked about what a fantastic woman she is and a politician. And then he's like, because I can't remember, it might have been you, Eric, ripping Sinema and Manchin for eventually going or holding the fort on one of the bills that was one of the spending bills. And he told us, Kirsten's got a backbone. Sure enough, she just proved it to the entire world. The worst time Democrats could ever have one of their senators leave is right now. And Kirsten said, Done. See you. She says, quote,
She'll caucus with the Democrats, though.
Maybe.
Well, you
Americans
think
are
she's
told that we only have two choices, Democrat or Republican, and that we must subscribe wholly to the policy views that the parties hold. Views that have been pulled further and further towards the extremes, a la progressives. Most Arizonans believe this is a false choice, and when I ran for the U.S. House and the Senate, I promised Arizonans something different. I pledged to be independent and work with anyone to achieve lasting results. I committed I would not demonize people, a la cancel people that I disagree with, engage in name calling or canceling, or get distracted by political drama or canceling, end quote.
Exactly.
I added a couple cancelings in there.
Yeah, but they both did vote for those big spending bills, Manchin and Sinema. They both voted for the infrastructure bill that's just going to tank our economy. That's going to make inflation go through the roof. So they did vote for Democratic principles still. It's interesting because it feels like, wouldn't it be cool? Now, I guess Bernie Sanders was the first one to do it that I remember, that you can get elected in your state as an independent. Well, what does that mean exactly? It's a little bit ambiguous. You're going to still caucus with the Democrats. You probably are going to still vote for these Democratic bills that come through. But she has the luxury now, the next time the elections come up, to say, look, I did this as an independent. So I don't know. Is it now Tulsi Gabbard would be the gold standard, right?
The gold standard for what?
For leaving the Democratic Party. She goes, you guys are freaking crazy. She is more of a libertarian than she's more like a Tucker Carlson. It seems like she's always on Tucker Carlson's show, but she has no interest in this far left policy of the Democrats have basically hijacked. Right? Would you say that's true?
Yeah.
I always thought, and I know. Watch this. You want to see a crazy face? You want to see a crazy face, Mike? I think Tulsi Gabbard would be an interesting Republican candidate for president.
You already know what I'm going to say.
Boom! There you go.
Where did you hear that first?
You.
She is a Republican now.
No.
She is not a Republican.
No. She basically disavowed herself from the Democrats.
Kirsten has done the same thing that Tulsi did, but Tulsi was canceled from the Democratic Party. Kirsten was not.
Kirsten she was hounded. Remember the paparazzi and the media following her around saying, you're just a Republican in sheep's clothing. Remember that? Remember when she was like, well, I'm not voting for this crap. I don't want to bankrupt us. And the MSNBC interns were following around with cameras there all day long.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? But I think that, you got to wrap your mind around this. It's like the Rhino Republicans, they're not coming back. The Mitch McConnells, they're not going to have this amazing uprising. You're not going to see the
Who is going? Okay,
you're
I
not
have to
going to
stop
see
you
the.
for a
Hold on,
second.
let me finish and then you can.
Are you sure?
The Mitt Romneys are not coming back. Those guys are dying. They're like the dinosaurs. Well, what is going to take the place of the Republicans, Tabitha? It could be. Listen to me. It could be a Kristen Sinema. It could be a Tulsi Gabbard. It could be people that are Democrat, blue collar military Democrats, but they believe in social issues. They could reinvent that party if they wanted to. They're calm, they're cool, they're collected, and they're cool, right? They do have a presence on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, Tulsi Gabbard is not a conservative. She's not a Republican. They have no place on the Republican ballot. Okay. The people who are rising up, unfortunately, due to the lack of the red ripple, we didn't get a red wave.
Oh, no,
we didn't get a ripple. We
Right.
barely even got a pink puddle.
Right.
And I will tell you what, the people who are rising up are the establishment candidates, because we are not doing enough to fight back. The establishment.
Well,
won.
for now, you're right.
The establishment, they continue to win. And we are getting nowhere. As conservatives, we're getting nowhere. We are moving further away from America first.
But Tulsi Gabbard is an America first
No,
person.
she is not. No, she's not.
She is.
No, she's not.
From what I've seen on interviews of
No,
her.
she's not. She is not a conservative. She is not a Republican. And just because she's somewhere in the middle, she's still to the left middle.
Yeah.
We need people to the much further right. Much further right.
There's a void.
We need America first. None of these people that are getting elected, none of them are America first.
There's a void in the Republican Party. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you know this or not, but Kevin McCarthy, if he doesn't get elected speaker, it could be a Democrat. Did you guys know that? Ro Khanna could be the Speaker of the House.
That would be interesting.
Because
I did not hear that. There's no
Yeah,
I don't see that
because
happening.
because
There's no way in hell, Eric.
man, I'm getting blasted on Facebook right now, but that's cool. No, it's true. If the Republicans can't get their crap together, Ro Khanna could be your new Speaker of the House.
That's not happening.
It's not happening, but I'm just saying, just
Yeah.
having that discussion right now.
We're not having the right discussion. You know, the right discussion would be is that we need to get rid of the RNC. We need to get rid of the DNC. And I know, Vic, what you're always going to say. And it's unfortunate that it probably won't happen. They're private organizations and they run our elections. They're not part of the government. They're not government branches. Our vote does not count. I don't care who you are or what you say. Your vote doesn't count. The RNC and the DNC, they choose whoever they want to choose. They've told us that under oath in a court of law. There's nothing left to question. Our elections are rigged. We've got a lot of work to do if we ever want to change anything. We're not even at the first step.
But you're not going
go.
you're not going to change things being Tabitha Hassel. You're not going to change things
or being Eric. None of us are changing things. You just glaze over everything.
But no, I'm just saying from a spectator, if you're just a whiny little lapdog on radio talking about how bad the Republicans
I'm a whiny
are.
lapdog on radio?
Me too. I am as well. If you're just kind of bitching and throwing stuff at the system because
we have to get out and do something.
But what I'm saying is there's millions and millions of people that don't give a damn about sticking their head in politics every day. And you have this interesting kind of thing going on right now. We're talking right now about Elon Musk being the savior of the country. We're talking right now about
right now.
I know we're talking right now on this show. Mark the date because you can go back and watch this 10 years from now. You're talking right now about Tulsi Gabbard, who ran as a Democratic president candidate, disavowing her party, and she's now on an island and she doesn't know where to go. Kristen Sinema has now left the Democratic Party. So you don't know how this stuff is going to, there is a vacuum right now, Tabitha, in the Republican Party is what I'm saying, right?
Everything's changing. There's no question about it.
And now, look, I'm not preaching. This is more of a question. I wake up and I go, who is going to fill this void? Is it going to be Trump again? Is Trump going to settle down and get off of Twitter? Is he going to settle down and resell himself to the country?
He gets really sick.
Right. Is it going to be DeSantis? Is DeSantis a middle kind of Republican? He's not a rhino and he's not a Trumper.
We don't know enough about him yet. In my opinion, we're learning.
He's a front runner right now.
We're learning.
Yeah.
I love DeSantis.
I don't know if he is the front runner. I want to see another straw poll come out because the last straw poll that we had, a big one, had Trump with a decisive lead nationally. Now, that was before the midterm. So let's wait. I want to see it, Eric. I wouldn't be surprised to see DeSantis up there over him.
Well,
I got to see it first. I got to see that.
Let's take a poll in here. Would you like to see Donald Trump run again?
We already talked about this.
Just shake your head, yes or no. You would? Okay, you? We got two. So in the studio right now, we have two people off camera that said absolutely they'd like to see Trump run again.
Yeah. Well, of course.
Is he shake things up enough? Does he basically, if Trump runs, I don't think he'll win, but if he runs, he will set the table for all the issues, is what I think.
Well, it is a Friday, and sometimes we go conspiracy theory Friday, and this is what I've been concerned about, as Donna says. Elon Musk is a seed.
In what way? I mean, you can be, we're all seeds.
A plant.
A seed to what?
A planted seed.
So you said plant.
Planted seed.
I don't think that Elon Musk is necessarily one of us, but I definitely do think he's fighting for the truth. I'm
trying to figure it out.
What is one of us, though? What's
in
one
life,
of us?
if something always seems too good to be true, usually it is, right? Isn't that what we're told? This is what I get thinking about when it comes to Elon. I was like, out of nowhere, here comes Elon.
But
to save the day.
But he thinks about things differently, though. He's not a normal. It's like Conspiracy Friday. He might be an alien.
I don't think he's an alien.
You don't know that.
He might be the first one to go public.
That he's an alien?
Yeah,
that he came from another.
It takes that first person to go public.
SpaceX turns into Portal X, where you can just zoom around the universe,
and then we understand why he's so brilliant.
Well, I think he's brilliant because he has Asperger's or some kind of, what did Rain Man have? Rain Man was completely, he was a genius, but he had no social skills. I mean, we don't know. It's just he seems to look at life Like he doesn't give a damn what you think is
Well,
kind of what it
and
looks
he
like to me.
shouldn't. But I think we need to be very careful here. This is where I think it gets a little muddy for me, is that we tend to grasp on to anyone who is telling the truth and fighting for freedom. And that doesn't mean he's a conservative or even necessarily that he's a Republican.
Yes.
We have to remember that. But he is telling the truth. He is fighting for the truth. And we have to appreciate that. But I think we need to see it for what it is.
I don't think we need to look at
Eric,
politics.
there are
through-
Democrats who are fighting for the truth as well. There are.
Yeah. Ro Khanna was the guy that we were just talking about. He actually fought whenever they were like banning people and censoring people. He was one of the guys that said, no, this is wrong, man. We shouldn't stifle people's voices. So yeah, you're right. There are Democrats out there. I mean, not in St. Louis, not our leadership here. They want to stifle everything. They're the worst leadership on the planet. But there are Democrats out there. They're like, I'm kind of a blue collar guy and I like the military and I go to church, but I mean, there are those people and they're like, I don't really see a place for me anymore, but I'll just continue to spew the corporate line so I can keep my seat in Congress.
Well, that's what most people in Congress are doing, is they're there
That's a sellout.
to line their own pockets.
Yeah,
They,
that's a
they
sellout.
might start out good, but then once they get going, they play the game and the game plays them.
Yep.
And then to keep on in that position to do the tiny 1% of
Yep.
good,
Yep.
they have to agree with all the bad.
You ready to be president, Tabitha, from the
Yes.
from the comment line?
Will you vote for me, please?
I'm going to flip this around. Mary Jo says Vic for president, Tab for VP, Eric for Speaker of the House. I vote for Tab for president.
Let's flip that
I'll
around.
be the VP.
Hey, Mary Jo, why not be for president?
Eric can be the Speaker of the House.
Now we just need somebody to come down and fund us.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. It is a Friday. And by the way, also Robert from the comment line, what's so brilliant? Most was thought about or talked about 100 years ago when it comes to Elon. Well, he brought it. He brought it, Robert. I mean, somebody has to do it. Somebody has to finish it. Somebody has to bring it across the finish line. Elon has proved that he's been able to do things, a lot of things,
Yeah.
at least in my humble opinion.
Oh, I am thrilled to death with Elon Musk. I have been reading all of his tweets and I have been reading all of the files he's releasing.
Why is he still alive?
Well,
Well,
he has major security.
From
now,
what
know
I
that.
understand, he is like pretty much sleeping and living at Twitter. They had a big video tour the other day of the bedrooms that he's built at Twitter. And he doesn't, unless he's bought a home, he didn't have a home before. And so he was sleeping out at Starlink in an RV or something, or
Dude's
a tiny house.
That dude's a different cat.
He's a different type of person.
Yeah. Yeah, he
For
is.
sure.
His life, I cannot imagine. How do you
He's
have
so strange, but I
He's
don't
probably going to be suicided
How-
any day now.
how do you build basically your own NASA and worry about a damn social media platform? I mean, how do you do that? How do you have 1 minute
And
in a day?
Neuralink. Look at, but you know what, Elon?
And Tesla.
it just
But think
seems,
about
it just
this,
seems
Eric.
too good to be true.
Elon always says that he is as good as he is because of the people he hires.
Mhm.
He gets an idea, but he hires people to implement
Yeah.
that idea.
Yeah.
He's not out there running around doing all these things.
Yeah.
Mike,
That's
do you want to add to that? Because
that is
you're shaking your head. And you're
that
saying
is
no.
that is definitely that is like a life lesson. What you just said, Tabitha. St. Louis is only as good as the people we hire. And that-
Yeah, you
and
think?
that's why we
You
aren't
think,
very
Eric?
good. Would you recommend to anybody if they were like saying, "Yeah, I'm looking for a new city to kind of put roots down in"? Would you recommend St. Louis? Anyway, back to COVID. or
I
whatever the hell
have
we
to.
were just
I have to
talking
say
Mike.
a lot more.
Waiting
But
to say-
I wanted to pounce in on Elon, and the gist is this: is that, as you said, all of the greats go and grab the people that have the great knowledge and surround themselves not only with their knowledge, but the skill sets and legacies that help build companies. And it's in history. Just go back and look through all of it, and that's what the greats do. It's what happens.
I feel like
No
I'm
question.
I'm one of those grades, but I think that
Time
Hey,
will tell.
That's a great way to take a break.
I guess
Right
so.
there.
No,
I'm
no,
one
no,
of the
no, no, no.
greats.
Cut that off. Just
I'm
cut that
one of the
last-
greats.
That last part off.
It is Cancel This. Go to cancelthisshow.com. We have platforms there for you to watch on. Go there, where to stream. Watch it where you want to watch this. We'll go from there. Eric Johnson's here. Tabitha has from Dick's house. Mike Wilkerson overproducing. We're going to come back. Don't go anywhere. It's a quick break. Talk about the cancelization of Christmas. Media, families, people. going after Christmas. Give us your opinions. What are you hearing? Obviously, people have talked about saying holiday instead of Christmas and things like that. We'll give you some more examples. Yeah, some parents are like totally doing away with Santa now. What do you think? Yeah.
That's sad.
No Santa. It's stupid is what the quotes are from some families.
It's funny. It's today Paranormal Friday.
It's paranormal as well.
Some kids, I follow these NDEs, these near-death experiences, and some kids, when they have an NDE, they see Santa Claus when they die.
Really?
So
I have never heard that.
We're going to talk about that when we come back.
It's so true.
Well, that ruins a lot of things I fought.
It sucks.
Maybe candy canes as well. It's cancelthisshow.com. We'll be back right after this.
Stop throwing your advertising dollars into the fiery pit of no return on investment. Start putting your ads and money into a focused, vibrant, and growing audience interested in the truth and getting the whole picture, rather than the one that's shoveled to us. Become a Cancel This advertiser today. The links to do this and more are available at our website, cancelthisshow.com. CancelThisShow.com is on the hunt for amazing advertisers, just like you. Ready to help us share stories of success that come from people, businesses, organizations, and efforts that have been canceled? Connect with us now to learn how you and your business can benefit from a growing, vibrant, focused, truth-interested audience. Become a Cancel This advertiser today. The links to do all of this and more are at our website, cancelthisshow.com. As time goes by, money is only going to get tighter. Don't you think it's time to start advertising to an audience interested in learning the truth about what's going on in today's modern media circus? Connect with us now to learn how you and your business can benefit from a growing, focused, truth-interested audience. Become a Cancel This advertiser today. The links to do all of this and more are available at our website, cancelthisshow.com. Stop throwing your advertising dollars into the fiery pit of no return on investment. Start putting your ads and money into a focused, vibrant, and growing audience interested in the truth and getting the whole picture, rather than the one that's shoveled to us. Become a Cancel This advertiser today. The links to do this and more are available at our website, cancelthisshow.com. CancelThisShow.com is on the hunt for amazing advertisers, just like you. Ready to help us share stories of success that come from people, businesses, organizations, and efforts that have been canceled? Connect with us now to learn how you and your business can benefit from a growing, vibrant, focused, truth-interested audience. Become a Cancel This advertiser today. The links to do all of this and more are at our website, cancelthisshow.com. As time goes by, money is only going to get tighter. Don't you think it's time to start advertising to an audience interested in learning the truth about what's going on in today's modern media circus? Connect with us now to learn how you and your business can benefit from a growing, focused, truth-interested audience. Become a Cancel This advertiser today. The links to do all of this and more are available at our website, cancelthisshow.com. Stop throwing your advertising dollars into the fiery pit of no return on investment. Start putting your ads and money into a focused, vibrant, and growing audience interested in the truth and getting the whole picture, rather than the one that's shoveled to us. Become a Cancel This advertiser today. The links to do this and more are available at our website, cancelthisshow.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. It's Cancel This. Alongside producer Mike Wilkerson, we've got Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel. I am Vic Faust. It's Cancel This. You can check out our website at cancelthisshow.com. We have streaming platforms there. You will find us on Facebook there. You can find our past shows there. We are live streaming on Rumble. I'm told it's Cancel This Morning Show. Cancel This Morning Show on Rumble. Cancel This Morning Show on Rumble. I know it's there because I've seen the link. It is there. So if you want to check us out there, you can. The site's still in development. We're still into our second week. So check us out. Let us know what you think. Of course, you can always jump in on the comment line as well on Facebook right now as well. One thing that we like to joke with Eric about, Eric's a musician. You were playing last night at the Factory.
Mm-hmm.
We're a show based in the St. Louis area. If you don't know, we're live 7 to 10, 7-ish to 10, Monday through Friday. But we're a podcast creating original content and putting that into our library for you as well. We've had some fantastic interviews, some really good content on a variety of political subjects, news headlines, society, and of course, cancel culture, which is at the heart of everything we do, because it seems like every day or every week, something's being canceled. Somebody is offended. Somebody's getting angry about something. And that takes us into Christmas. So let's see how Tabitha and Eric feel about this. And of course, you, our listeners and viewers.
Yes.
Santa has come under fire from some, keyword I guess is some Gen Z parents who aren't even allowing children to believe he's real. It's over. As evidenced by the hashtag Santa isn't real, which has received 19 million views. I'm sure it has to be people checking it out, maybe not supporters. 19 million views on TikTok. Many parents cite concerns that once their children find out Santa's magic is a myth, that's a myth. Santa's not real. Santa?
Yeah.
I know him.
Yeah.
from the best movie ever. You guys know what that movie is? End of quote. They'll be traumatized.
That's sad, man. It's a tradition. Santa Claus was really brought to fame and prominence through the Coca-Cola organization back in the early 1900s to sell Coca-Cola products.
Is that true?
Yeah, it is true. It's like
That is not true.
it is true.
What?
Santa
Actually,
was around long before
Saint
Coca-Cola
Nick.
existed.
no, but
Saint
that was
Nicholas.
legendary. That was legendary. It was, I think it was a German tale or something about, I don't know. It's actually, I don't know the entire story, but yes, it is true. Coca-Cola they basically made him famous in the United States, the Coca-Cola Red. It was a marketing ploy of some sort, and then that kind of stuck through American culture, and you saw the Coca-Cola red jacket, and that's what he wore when he was coming down the chimney, and it kind of went through the the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s to today,
Where we
And-
have polar bears.
where we have polar bears. and now I think that it's just one of those Americana things that the wokesters just cannot stand. It's like, if we're going to break down all of the statues of Abraham Lincoln, we might as well go for broke and get rid of because I think he represents religion as well. He's basically, he fires
it's a
us
Christian character.
It's a Christian-
Saint
Yeah,
Nicholas.
Well, it is
Exactly.
Saint Nick.
celebrating the birth of Jesus, even though that
Yes.
isn't technically the day that it would be, but it is celebrating the birth of Jesus.
Yeah,
quote,
exactly.
the Savior of the world in regards to that Christian belief. So
yeah, I know I love Christmas, but I do think, it's my own opinion, I do think it gets stressful for some people this time of
well,
year.
it's commercialized.
It is commercialized.
Christmas isn't what it's supposed to be
but
about,
taking
of
Santa,
course.
but telling kids he isn't real, is that fine? I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, your listeners, I mean, and then we all know peer pressure. A lot of times you may be taking care of your kids or keeping them away from certain things in life. That doesn't mean other
Exactly.
parents
There you
feel
go.
the same way and they allow their kids to do things or watch things that they don't feel are beyond that child's years. And then that child goes and shares all of what he found on the internet or on his phone and shows it to your said child. And your child's learning about things that aren't coming from the parents.
Yeah.
And you're speaking of all these recent videos.
Well, videos, Christmas,
Well, there's this
anything. I'm just speaking
it's
of
a new trend that's taking place right now. And it's about outing Santa Claus. Have you seen these videos?
No.
It's all
No.
of these, I'm assuming, liberal parents taking a video of their child, telling their child there's no such thing as Santa Claus.
Yeah.
What?
And those have been circulating all over online.
Why would you do that to your kid?
I think because liberal parents are cruel. They're not only mentally ill, but they're also cruel.
It's not, but we have to be, that's just a big generalization.
Well, it's not.
Not all people, not all liberals.
Oh my
Okay.
God, the death stare
I'm just not
you
going to
just
say
got.
anything.
The death stare that
No,
Vic just got
maybe
was
not
amazing.
all.
I call out liberals. I call out Democrats, but I also
Wow.
have friends who are liberals and Democrats who do celebrate Christmas.
Well, we'll talk about this this another day.
I love it when you call me out.
About whether or not liberals are mentally ill. That's because I realize that's not what we're talking about right now. But why these people are trying to out Santa, they're just trying to destroy everything about childhood. I'm convinced of it. And Santa is just another part of childhood that they want to get rid of.
Have you ever seen the movie Elf?
Yes.
You
Okay.
remind me of him. No, I'm just kidding. I thought that's what you were going to say.
Will Ferrell?
No.
But I told you I interviewed Will Ferrell. He was great.
And then we live in a
I've done
society
security
where
for him.
I mean,
Super nice guy.
I remember.
Of course you have.
I remember.
That's awesome.
I
I
remember
have a good story about him.
when I
for
was a
another day.
kid.
Whoa, we're burying the lead.
When I was a kid, I remember going to elementary school and trying to kind of figure out because there was a bunch of Jewish kids in my class. How does the dreidel fit in with the whole Christmas thing? And then I would talk to them. I go, so you guys don't get presents for Christmas? They go, no, we get presents 12 days of the holiday season. I was like, damn, Hanukkah.
Not
Yeah.
12 days.
Is it 12?
No,
What is it?
8.
Oh, it's 8 days. Okay, I'm sorry. And I go, well, how does
Don't you
that
know the song?
I go, how does that square with Santa Claus? And they go, oh, there's no Santa Claus. And I'm like this little kid freaking out. Like, I cannot figure out what this kid is talking about.
Well, now add in about 20 other cultures into the melting pot of America that we are. And then imagine what's happening.
Yeah.
Get some families from other countries adapt, some don't, some combine. And that's where we are. It's
I
one
think
big
it's
melting pot of
yeah, I don't know. To me, it's like Christmas Eve. It's a time to get sentimental. And for me anyway, you just sit there, alone and you think about the birth of Christ and you think about religious things and you get sentimental about the year. And, you know, it's the other 30 days of the month where you're trying to scramble to get presents for people you don't see all that often. And then you go on the Christmas tour. You get up on Christmas morning and Christmas Eve, and you're like, okay, we gotta go to this house first. And then we gotta go to this house.
But
and then,
there's a lot of people who don't
very
have that.
stressful,
But
Vic.
there's a lot of people who don't have that. I told you I was at an exotic car show last night.
Yeah.
I met two cool dudes. And we were talking about that. And I asked them because they were talking about family and he was inviting us over. And you know, they have 11 of the most incredible sports cars. They're car collectors, brand new, the most incredible cars you can imagine in their garage, in their place.
Mhm.
Next door neighbors with Yachty
Mhm.
over at Fair Oaks on the Metro East.
Yeah.
I said, so I'm just curious, do you guys, they're brothers. I was like, do you guys have family,
Mhm.
you know, that you'll see on the holidays? And he goes, no, we really don't. Because he kept inviting us over. He's
Yeah.
like, come over, come on, hang out. He's like, I watched you on Fox 2, loved you, so glad that you got the podcast going on.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, we don't have family really much anymore. He's like, it's just us.
Yeah.
And he's like, thanks for asking. He's like, yeah, it gets sentimental this time of year.
It
Made
does.
me think about what you said. So sometimes some of us are racing all around, but some of us aren't.
Yeah.
Is
But
that because they don't have family?
they don't have family.
They just don't have family.
No, they have each other.
or because
That's it.
they're just
No,
not
that's
close.
that's all who's around anymore.
Okay, but that's like my family.
Yeah.
You know, there's very few of us left. It's like me, my mother, my stepfather, you know, one brother.
Mm.
I have a niece, you know, of course my son. I mean, but there's so few of us.
Yeah.
And Christmas does change when you lose family members. Holidays change.
So, do you tell your kids no Santa or not? I let our kids go. They figured it out.
Yeah, to me, the bombshell there is that they took Santa Claus out of the elementary schools, because I think that's where it's where you see it all the time, and you do the projects for Santa and his elves and all the cute little books and all that stuff. And, you know, so to me, it's a public school, you know, or whatever it is. Don't pull it out of there. You know what? I just think just kind of leave our traditions alone. You know, some people are going to dig Christmas for Santa Claus. Some people are going to dig Christmas for the religious aspect of it. But just leave it alone.
Why can't you have
know?
both? Why?
And you know what? Another thing, another positive, it helps our economy. It does help our economy. If department stores and Amazon, they benefit from this.
It's the most wonderful time.
The
Well, let me rain on that parade for a little
Oh,
bit
boy.
too. It's not just the bureaucrats are not just going after Christmas. Hanukkah, come on down. You're the next contestant on Cancel This. Now, you're talking about in Seattle, where you've spent some time. Do you claim that as your home?
No, it's the
city,
place I lived for 10, 11 years, something like that, and I had an attachment to it, and then I came back to my home in St. Louis.
Well, companies in Seattle are now banning employees from showing any symbols for Christmas and Hanukkah when working from home.
What?
Yeah.
So you
on
mean
camera.
Their, like in the scene behind
in the
them.
scene behind them.
They shouldn't be able to tell people what they can have in their own home.
And the King County is King Seattle.
Yeah,
That's the major
that's St.
county.
Louis. All right, that's right in the middle of downtown.
Their policy bans employees from including holiday decorations such as nativity scenes,
Dude.
crosses, menorahs, and even extends the ban to the Dharma wheel, crescent, star, khanda, and nine-pointed star.
So they are basically saying no religious symbols whatsoever.
It extends to virtual workspace, which of course includes the visible ones when you log on to Zoom or you jump into, well, you're allowed to put whatever you want when you join our video.
So
link.
you'd basically get it like you would go, hi everybody,
So it's
welcome
not
to our.
it's not just Christmas and Christians who are being excluded. It's Jews and other faiths as well during their religious holidays.
Yeah,
as well.
if you really want to see how to screw up a city fast, go and explore the council and the mayor of Seattle, Washington. You will find out quickly how to destroy an amazingly beautiful city.
Well, we saw all of that when they had Chad, remember, set up that area that no one could enter, the no-go zone.
Oh, I do remember that.
I mean, they had the no-go zone for how long? I don't know how many days. No one could go in. No one could do anything. But this is a different type of topic, though, because I can almost understand why a company wouldn't want religious symbols if you're working, because even though you're working at home, it's still your workspace. It still affects the company. You're still representing the company.
Okay. Are you afraid to say Merry Christmas to people?
Absolutely not.
All right.
Mm,
Eric, do you ever
no.
think about it?
No.
Merry Christmas?
Mm-mm.
I don't either. Is it
No.
all right to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays? I started doing that when I was in TV, so worried about everything and who I was going to offend, and so tight, and oh my God, I can't offend everybody. I think you're it's all wonderful.
Yeah, but we live in a different part of the country too. We don't. You guys got to get out of this city for a while, and you might recognize that if you say Merry Christmas, you might.
It wasn't that way when I spent 11 years in Detroit. Detroit was more like the St. Louis area.
Yeah, but Detroit's
Michigan.
more blue collar. Detroit's most small house, blue collar. Get all the family over with the Christmas tree, and so you were
Parts of it,
you were
not all of
safer
it.
parts up there.
Parts
It's
of
still
it,
the
not all of
Midwest,
that.
right?
Yeah, that was my point.
Yeah, but
still more Midwestern feel, not the Seattle stuff that you dealt with.
No, they had CRT before CRT was popular in Seattle when I lived up there.
Yeah, but even in liberal New York, families are celebrating Christmas, and
exactly. How do you watch a Christmas Story on or Rudolph every year and somehow not love that the traditions that we built in this country? You don't kill them. You kind of
the traditions in this country are a lot of the things. It's our fabric, and if you want to tear the country down, you tear it, as we've talked about, from the inside out.
Yeah.
You tear it down without firing a missile. You tear it down from within, and you strip it of its identity, which started with a constitution, and then you pick apart the people who wrote it, and you find whatever possible you can, and then you start tearing down anything that America thought was good about it.
Preach, brother.
And then you have people who say America was never great.
Preach.
And if you're going to say America was never great, then you need to break it down,
Yep.
why it is, and then you compare it to other countries, and you have a full, in-depth, deep dive into the conversation. Not getting off track, bringing us back to the beginning. When you think of America, you do think of traditions, and you think of when this country was thriving from an economic standpoint without all of the crap that we're dealing with. Yeah, we've always had problems. Of course, we get it. But that doesn't mean you tear it down from the get-go. But there are those forces, evil forces, that don't want us to think about Christmas, that don't want us to remember those movies, that want to tear apart the family.
Yeah. And remember this, cancel wokesters, you're going to build your own traditions, right? So you might succeed in tearing down the old traditions of this country, but you're going to build your own traditions. But guess what? There's going to be wokesters behind you, and they're going to tear down your traditions. So why don't you got to be conscious about it. Watch what you wish for, because a country that doesn't have traditions is not a country. It's just a landmass with a bunch of people wandering around on it. That's what makes America great to me, is we have built Christmas up. We built it up for the entire planet. Everything we used to do in the old days was the leader. We built up Christmas. We built up the car industry. We built up the industries that have made the world flourish. And now it seems like we're ready just to say, yeah, we're sick of this.
Well, we're giving into the
this.
atheists is what we're doing. Remember that family? I can't recall their name, but I kind of feel like where a lot of this started was with this one atheist family. They came out and they were very outspoken. They filed all these lawsuits to have nativity scenes removed from churches, from outside of schools. Right. They wanted anything to do with the Bible banned from schools. And the movement just kind of grew from there to where now all of a sudden, all of these schools and churches and other buildings and stores, they don't want to have nativity scenes or any Christian.
Well, I think
anything.
the whole thing with Christmas, but as we wait for her cough, well, no, I'm just kidding. The thing about Christmas is it's wholesome.
Sorry.
The thing about Christmas is it's a wholesome thing. Would you agree with that? That there's
hell yes,
right.
It needs to be.
And the wokesters don't want wholesome anything anymore. They don't. Some of them do, Eric. They side on the atheist
You're
side.
thinking about. You got to start thinking. We got to start dividing people up, because first of all, the majority of Americans celebrate some type of holiday, whatever religion they might be. But we have to remember, all the rules and all the squeaky wheels are the people to the far 2% of the left.
Mm-hmm.
That's the far 2%. So a lot of these things that we speak to, they're not the majority. They're not even the majority of the people on the left. They're the far 2%. And it's just unfortunate that they're the squeaky wheels. They're making all the rules and they're making all of these changes.
Yeah.
And we are bigger than them. We have to stop catering to the 2%. We have to stop giving them credit for anything.
Okay. I still think that it's like I'm reading the Facebook comments, and it's just it's a micro part of breaking down this country. And they're dead on it.
They are breaking down the country because we're allowing them to do it.
And I just really noticed this when we did the War on COVID show. I was really excited for that, but then it started getting creepy. Everything that we talked, and I can't say that word. I'm sorry. The disease. When we started the war on the disease,
C word,
yeah,
the other C word,
right. When we started that, we started unpacking all this other stuff that the government was kind of doing. We're like, what the hell's going on here? They're trying to stifle our voice. It's like people are getting canceled. I think that cancel culture really got prevalent in the first days of the disease, the war on the disease, and so it's like this is just another micro aspect of breaking down this country. I think because when you have a wholesome country, you want that feeling every single year.
Well, we have to stop
wokes
giving them
don't want
credit.
it.
We have to stop giving the far 2% on the left.
They
the
don't
very
want your
fringe
credit.
left.
They don't care
we
about
give
your
them
credit.
way too much
They don't
credit.
care.
Who
They don't care.
Who
They don't
gives?
care.
Who gives?
Everybody does. Everybody from our government all the way down to the people.
I
to even
figured
us.
the people, quote, people or organization. It's media. It's
media for
coverage.
certain.
But in 2023, which is right around the corner, anybody gets their opinion heard. The keyboard warriors exist.
Who gets their opinion heard?
Anybody and everybody in this day and age.
Where we get shut down every time we
No,
try to give opinion.
He's preaching. That is actually true.
No, what I mean, let me finish. Everybody can get on their phone and put their message out.
That's right.
To who?
We do a podcast. There's people who hate what we do if they find out, but there's people who love what we do. We put it out there. So if you put it out in the universe, people are going to hear things.
Some people.
Well, it's that slippery slope again, too. Then maybe somebody may think about it.
Our second day,
and you get coverage.
We got a strikeout on Lou Boob or whatever you want to call it today. And we were grounded for a week. They removed several of our shows.
Yeah.
We've had nothing but issues because people keep reporting us because they don't want to hear the truth.
Well, sometimes.
It's very difficult to get your opinion out there. But the people on that far 2%, they always get their opinion out there. Nobody's attacking them for misinformation. No one's flagging them. No one's taking their voice down. It's only us.
Just then appreciate Christmas and go out and celebrate Christmas and tell people Merry Christmas. If you want to add a happy holidays, that's fine too. But humans have been conditioned to be like, oh my God, you can have a total good heart, a great heart, and somebody can say you're a bad person because you didn't say happy holidays, or you're going to offend people. It's going to happen. And you just can't worry about it. Yeah, have a good heart and go about your day. But my gosh, at the end of the day, if you love Christmas, and we certainly hope that you do, around here we do, and we say Merry Christmas, enjoy it. Tell somebody happy holidays. Tell somebody happy Hanukkah. It's all right to go do that, but don't lessen who you are, your beliefs, or what you grew up knowing and believing in an attempt to be kind to somebody else.
Correct. I think that we should cancel Christmas or Thanksgiving turkey, though.
Oh my God!
Because stuffing and cranberries.
What?
I think we need to cancel cranberries because they are disgusting.
You just have to cook them the right way.
And I am going to have a full-on
press
conference later today. And if you put green beans in your damn mashed potatoes, that will cancel that too. That's disgusting. Thanksgiving dinner should be canceled.
Immediately. Breaking news: the AP is now reporting that Eric Johnson has lost his mind.
No, I'm serious.
That has just come down on the AP breaking news.
And I also think that Christmas and on Christmas Day, it should be canceled that you should go to more than 3 houses for dinner, because you should not. You should be canceling that, and you should go to a Denny's and have Christmas dinner. And
what did you do for Thanksgiving this year, Eric?
What did I do? I went to like 18 houses and watched like the football game in the 18 houses.
Okay, did you eat turkey?
I did.
Then what the hell's wrong?
Begrudgingly, because let's talk about
this. Are you a ham guy? Do you like ham?
I'm going to talk right to the camera. Listen to me. We eat your turkey and we eat your stuffing and we eat your cranberries, not because we like it, but we want to make you not feel bad. We want to make you think that all the work you did for the last 24 days, getting the turkey unfrozen and putting it in the oven and basting and doing all that stuff, we do that because we want you to feel good. And we're going to tell you to your face, oh my God, your dinner is amazing. And we can't stand it. We want to get the emos as fast as possible to cleanse our
I
palate.
hope none of your family is
This
listening
is
to the
a
show.
therapy session for
Yeah.
Eric. I've always said,
Yeah.
therapy. My therapist is amazing. That camera is good therapy. For
Your
you.
gravy is so good. No, it's not.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then you get the smallest plate you can get, right? And then you walk where the kids' table is, and then you dump it in the trash can. You go, that was the most amazing thing I've ever had in my life. Now I got to go do it at another house because I'm on the Thanksgiving Day tour.
Eric, you sound like a cancel culture person in Thanksgiving.
I am. I'm trying to be. I'm trying to cancel Thanksgiving.
Maybe you're just at houses that they. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe if you had good food, you wouldn't.
Yeah. Look, I'm hungover from
People
last
are
night.
canceling
All right.
you on the
Look,
comment
I'm
line.
dehydrated.
Did you have some Fireball last night?
No, but why can't we invent an amazing?
What the hell is
Look,
wrong? I'm floored.
What about lasagna? How about that? Let's just make lasagna.
I've
for
seen
Thanksgiving.
lasagna as an option at some
I make
things,
lasagna sometimes.
as a Thanksgiving dish, as a side dish. I've
Yeah.
seen it.
I think that you have.
Do you like ham better than turkey?
Yes, I do.
So you like Christmas better? Do more people make ham
Green bean
for
casserole.
Christmas?
What the hell is that? Who?
Oh my God!
Why do you only have
Oh my
green bean
God.
casserole on
Eric,
one day of the year?
Eric, you got to have the right green bean casserole.
No, I'm not. You don't have to have green bean casserole at all. And my God.
Where have you taken us?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Where have you taken us? No turkey, no stuffing,
Shake it off.
cranberry sauce. I get it. I
Mhm.
get it. I get it.
Are you? Let me ask you this: are you thankful the day after Christmas because you can go? I can finally rest. It's over.
That all depends on.
Be truthful.
Wait, I'm floored by your Thanksgiving
What? I haven't even gotten started.
diatribe.
I haven't even gotten started.
Okay, do people that you go to on Thanksgiving watch you on podcast?
What's that?
Do they watch you on podcast?
Who does?
Who? I know. I'm asking all the people you were just ripping in their food
Yeah, they
and
do.
their effort.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Have you
know
ever
what? That's
made?
how I feel.
Have you ever made Thanksgiving dinner for anybody?
I don't care. Look, my dearly departed mother, I would say it to her face. I would say, Mom,
God bless her soul.
Mom, come on. We can do better than this. We don't have to. We don't have to do.
Melinda chiming in on the comment line. Put some bourbon in your cranberry sauce. You'll like it better.
And what is
I'll
cranberry
try it.
sauce? Why in the hell? Where did that come from?
I don't know. Tabitha. any
I don't
idea?
know. Don't we
disgusting.
have other things to talk about besides
No,
Thanksgiving?
we have to get to the bottom of this. Look, if you guys are going to go cancel, you know what we should
Because
do?
we're talking about people trying to cancel Christmas
Yes.
and the fabric of America.
Yes.
And Eric wants to cancel Thanksgiving for whatever
Yes.
reason. He has just given us his opinion.
No, exactly.
And we can.
I'll
and
tell you
we
what, I
can
will
move
trade
on.
you Santa Claus for Thanksgiving dinner. How about that? Moving back onto Paranormal Friday. Good.
Speaking of
It's
Paranormal
like, it's like
Friday,
trading cards.
well, we've got Kasha Stocky coming in at the 9:00 hour. If you can't join us live, of course, we'll have that in the podcast saved for you.
Yeah, that's
talking-
going to be a phenomenal interview, by the way.
What do you think the highlights? What would be the best way to promote her?
Well, think about this. Kasia lived through communism in Poland before she came here to the United States. So she knows what it's like to live as under communist rule
I thought Poland was free.
now, but it was not back then. They
Back-
are free now.
What years are we talking?
Well, she's not very old. She would have to tell us what year communism ended in Poland. I'm thinking it was in the 90s, I believe.
What?
Late 80s to 90s, maybe.
Maybe 80s.
And same with Russia. Probably about that same
Well, we'll
time.
have to find out what part
Yeah,
of
we'll
Poland
find-
she.
We'll find out. But what's great about Kasia, and Eric, you will love this, is that Kasia can talk to us and tell us what she sees going on in the United States right now and how so much of what's happening in this country is exactly like communist Poland. But we don't even see it. We don't even see it. We're so used to our lives, we don't even see it. You will love it.
No, well, she falls in that same category of the people coming over from Cuba saying, "Are you guys crazy?"
Absolutely.
I've never seen so many passionate people in my life as a Cuban coming over to the United States going, "Do you realize what the hell I just came from? You want that?" I mean, basically it's the same kind of thing. But in the going to the Facebook line, that Mark guy from yesterday wants to bring that here.
Kinda.
No, he didn't.
He doesn't
no,
even know.
No.
He absolutely does. He absolutely does. But what's so crazy? This is why at the very end of the show, I offered to come and teach him the difference between socialism and capitalism because he seems to be very confused between the two.
The two
Well-
don't work in the same space. They're a paradox.
But
They
can-
do not work in the
They're a
same
paradox.
space.
But on the conversation of canceling Christmas from the chat line on Facebook right now, and if you wanted to jump in and explain your story, we can get you a video link, Jamie. Jamie says, I came in on the perfect conversation. I'm dealing with the, quote, cancel nuts at our elementary. They want to be, quote, all inclusive for the kids, yet they are trying to remove anything Christmas from holiday event. No Santa, no Christmas theme crafts, any of this for the kids to make, etc. So frustrating. Jamie, I wish you would tell us what elementary school that is or what school district. I'd just be curious since you
Yes.
brought that up.
But
I'd
they're
love to have a
unapologetic.
conversation with you.
They're unapologetic, the schools. That's another thing is the schools are, in my opinion, the schools, when they were first busted, were like, oh my God, they're onto us.
We have,
kind of, right?
and by the way, we have the link on the Facebook line right now. It's the cancel this video link where you can click the link and join us live on the show. I'm glad that this is that we're finding out about some of this stuff happening.
But they don't care. They don't care.
Who's that? You mean the school districts?
The liberal school boards. They have, this is something that has been brewing with them for years and
it's
years
decades,
and years.
decades. And when you finish, I'll tell you about a story, a friend of mine at his school.
Well, it's real simple. It's like what we're discovering what they want to do. They didn't think they were going to be discovered. The media didn't think that Elon Musk was going to make them vulnerable. But going back to the schools, they have been talking about getting rid of Christmas, religion out of schools for a long time. They've been talking about this CRT for a long time. They're just getting exposed. Here's the saddest part of that, people. They don't care.
I'm kind of shocked at the school district where I just saw it from. Jamie says she's working, so she can't jump in right now, but she says it's Melville School District in the St. Louis area.
What?
Yeah, if you're in that area, you call them. Call Melville.
Let's call them now.
Call them up.
Can we
Have an
call,
issue.
can we
Why
call
would you
Melville on this
cancel?
show?
Why would you cancel all things Christmas? Is anything, but are they canceling everything Christmas and everything any other holiday? And it's just nothing.
Yeah.
It's not surprising.
Yeah.
I
Is
mean,
it?
Why do you cancel
I guarantee
anything?
it's going on all around the country. And of course, we're
Yes,
talking
it
to people
is.
all around the country.
Do you want to be inclusive? Keep Christmas. Celebrate Christmas. You live in a country that was formed by Christians and Christmas. But you know what? I would love to learn about Hanukkah as an 8-year-old in whatever elementary school. I'd love to know about Kwanzaa as a senior at Melville High School. I would love to learn about all these religions around the world. I would dig it. I really would. It's an opportunity.
But that's what they teach. I mean, I haven't been in school in a long time, clearly, but when I was in school, we did learn about every single religion.
Yes, why don't
we
you just
talked
keep
about
it there?
every religion, every symbol, but but we were still most schools
Can we
focused
can we
on
call them?
Christian.
Do we have the ability to
And
call Melville
this-
High School?
And we've got somebody who, Laura, on our chat line says, this is for you, Tabitha. It has to be you. I would rebel talking about the Melville situation. We have a Santa store at our elementary school. Make waves, exclamation point. If they know you are trouble, they'll think twice. Did you tweet that to us, Tabitha?
It was me under my fake
That
name.
sounded like Tabitha. Seriously, go do it.
But that is
Make
the
your-
only way to change things.
Be polite, but be persistent. Be polite, but be persistent. I've always said that. Be polite, but be persistent. That's the only way you're going to make waves. You have to, because there are other people who are trying to take away everything that you knew growing up. And many times, because I witnessed it working in local news, going and doing stories, people aren't intentionally trying to hurt you or anything else. They're afraid. Oh my God, I'm going to get called out here. Oh my God, I can't upset this person. They may take my job. Oh, we don't want to say anything. We just want to stay quiet and cower and don't say anything. When I was in local news trying to cover all sides of COVID, when I was trying to cover all sides of the last presidential election, I was looked at as being, oh my God, here, Vic, there he is. He's talking again. He's doing this. He's doing that. No, you got to be fair. You have to speak up, because if you don't, things are going to pass you right by. Because if you don't believe that there are people who want to change the way society's going, think again, especially in the schools, you have to make sure that your voices are heard as well. At worst case, you'll get a draw, even if you're in the worst situation ever. At worst case, And then if it's even better than worse, you're going to be able to stick up for what you want. I'm shocked that it's the Melville School District, that there's an elementary school there that's doing that, not allowing any Christmas, if we're understanding that correctly.
It's kind of like when I think of the schools, and this is an argument to get independent private schools that are affordable for all. It feels like when a story like this comes up, the analogy would be you're trying to push a 40-ton ball of Jell-O. First of all, you can't get your hands on the damn thing. You can just look at it and just say, this isn't right. But as soon as the parents try to push up against it, their hands just go right through it. It's just an enigma. And the parents had past tense had an opportunity to kind of change this. They didn't take that chance. The voting showed in the last election that this country is
and by the way,
to the teacher's
if
side.
you love what we're doing, share the show, share it every day. That's a way to speak up to put us out there to as many people as possible. There may be those who don't want to hear us or hear from you, but there are so many others that do. If you believe that the opinions are the silent majority, let people know, especially this time of year. Always be kind, be polite, but be persistent. Make sure your voice is out there, because if you're not speaking, others are. And it only takes a few to make waves. We know that, whether you think it's good or bad.
Yeah, it's true. It's Friday. We got to shift gears to something.
Can we shift gears?
Can I ask one thing? Can I get one request?
Yeah.
When we were going to break in the first hour,
Mhm.
because we've been talking about cancel Christmas Friday, and it is what we call a free for all Friday, which also includes Paranormal Conspiracy Theory Friday.
Here we go.
Eric brought up something. When kids have near-death experiences, he has heard of them seeing Santa.
Right.
Expound, please.
Well, my sister.
I've never heard of this.
My sister just passed away a few weeks ago, and when that happens, you kind of go in your own discovery of trying to make sense of stuff. A lot of people go into religious, they go into their synagogues or whatever, and they pray. I'm the opposite. I want a little bit of scientific proof that my sister's okay. So I always kind of dive into NDEs, near-death experiences, the stories, what they see, how, it gives you comfort to know, oh my God, it's so beautiful in heaven. So I get into the heaven thing. Well, it turns out if you do a lot of the research, and this does make sense, if you are Hindu, you don't see Jesus, you might see Shiva. Or if you're Muslim, you might see Muhammad. They come back with these stories, right? They come back with these stories. If you're Christian, you go up and you get the hand of God and Jesus. Well, some kids apparently on some of these forums is like, it's amazing you say that, because there's a near-death experience and they come back saying, I just saw Santa Claus. It makes you wonder, that
makes me feel like it's more of a dream than reality.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Is there a difference between when you're on the deathbed and you come back? Is there a difference? Does your mind go into a dream state, or does your mind go into, are there some people
these people that you're talking about, people who actually died and they were brought back and that's what
Correct.
they saw?
Their heart stopped, they were clinically dead, and then they came back.
Because I've read a lot
Does
of
that
these
interest
stories.
you at all? Have you?
Oh, yeah, of course. I've read a lot of these stories. I'm like you. I just lost a brother, in this past September. And I've looked into it before then, but you read these stories. I've never heard anybody say that they've seen Santa. But
I didn't either.
But I've not read a lot of stories about kids.
But doesn't it make sense if you've never heard the story of Jesus Christ? If you're in like some tribe in Australia or Africa or China or whatever it is, and you've never heard the story, that would be the ultimate proof.
But the majority
in Christianity,
of stories,
right there.
Yeah, but the majority of stories I've heard, no one has seen any God or any particular face. They just say, well, they've experienced a feeling of lightness and they can look down and see their body. And they went through this colorful field of flowers or whatever, and they saw lights and different things. And that it was more about a feeling that they had more than what they saw. I can't recall too many stories where people said they saw God or Jesus
sure.
And I'm not saying they're not out there.
Oh yeah.
The stories I've read, I've not heard that.
But see, this Paranormal Friday, we can go crazy a little bit here, but see those stories, the research that comes from the skeptics. There's a lot of skeptics that they try to break down NDEs. They're like, this is bullcrap. you guys are full of garbage.
I think it's becoming more accepted.
It's like they go
even from mainstream doctors.
right, but they go
Absolutely.
So they go, let's go here. The tunnel vision. I get tunnel vision. Of course you do. You're losing oxygen. Your brain. It's like you being in a weightless machine in the military. Whenever they put you on the centrifugal force thing, you get tunnel vision. It's because you're losing oxygen. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. And then you go, well, I have this euphoric feeling. Oh, of course you are. Your brain is building endorphins inside as you start to die. The dying process. You're going to start to feel good. Blah blah blah. So the skeptics have the winning argument in all this, but then you hear stories like these kids coming up and going, I just saw Uncle whoever who died 20 years ago, and he said this, this, and this, things that only that kid would know. Well, how do you square the two things?
Eric, I saw it's a longer story maybe than what we have to tell today, but I saw it myself. And once you see something yourself, it's a whole different story. Because there was a time when I was very sick and I was in the hospital and I nearly died. I was in the ICU. I had way back when I had some type of like a pulmonary embolism, and it hurt my lungs, and I have really bad, almost like asthma attacks. And I was in the ICU. I was very, very sick.
Okay.
I didn't even realize there was, I guess, 2 patients in the room. So it was me and another woman. And the nurse sat at the foot of between our beds at a desk 24/7.
Right.
And at one point when I was in the hospital, I was not on any type of medication whatsoever because there was nothing you can give for this type of situation. At one point, I looked up and I saw these men standing facing me, but with their back, I guess, towards the other patient. And they looked like they were wearing old military uniforms, like World War I military uniforms.
Right.
And I asked them, I said, why are you here? And of course, my mom, the nurse, looked at me like, who are you talking to? And I said, I'm talking to these guys right here.
Right.
And the nurse came over, asked me all of the typical questions. What year is it? What's your name? And I knew the answer to all of the questions. Who's president? Blah, blah, blah. And I explained to them, there's these guys standing right here. I'm talking to them. I see them. They're not looking at me or talking to me. Well, the nurse gave me something to knock me out. When I woke up, everybody was like acting really strange, and I didn't know why. And it turns out that the woman next to me passed away when I saw these 3 figures. So in my head, what I will always believe is that when you pass away, someone is there to greet you. And that's what I saw.
Really?
And I think the only reason why I saw it is because I was at such a heightened state. My oxygen level was really low.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that opened me up to seeing something I wouldn't normally see.
Not a hallucination, as a skeptic would say.
Well, and it could be. How do I know? But I answered all the questions the nurse asked me. I knew what year it was. I knew my name. I knew all of the questions. But I'll tell you what, how weird would it be to hallucinate that at the same time this woman passed away? And I had no idea she passed away till I woke up.
So it seems like how do you guys feel about this? I think that NDE science is the new religion a little bit. And the reason I say that is because, through time, we've read the Bible, and I've read the Bible, you've read the Bible. And it's like, now it's like just have faith, right? You're going to go to heaven. The prize is going to heaven and doing good and having a good life here. But now that some people's new religion is like, look, you think that this life is good. You haven't seen anything yet. And the new religion is science, trying to prove what infinity is, and trying to prove what this afterlife is, and trying to prove that you can't create nor destroy matter, and the human brain has this energy, and where's the energy go? And so there's this whole community online that I love, because I think it's just neat to hear these stories of these NDEs. But
we had one
to me, it kind of displaces religion, but it also lives in the same place as religion.
Absolutely, it does.
It's weird.
Well, life and death. You either believe that you were given your life by a maker, and you can go down that, or not, or you just poof came out of nothing.
Yes.
And then if you believe in that good evil, then what happens is you have the other situation that happens where there is afterlife. And it's great to talk about. Eric, it was in St. Louis, and Carlene from our line brought it up too. The guy in Lake St. Louis, that wasn't that long ago. He fell through the frozen ice, survived, and said that he saw Jesus.
I've met him several times. We worked on that.
There's a
movie.
Yeah, the movie.
We worked on that.
We
movie.
promoted it at my former TV station as well.
Yes.
And when you hear him talk, he is 100% believing.
No question about it.
And so, those things happen.
are
Especially when
you
you hear
interested in that,
atheists talk about how they became Christians.
Yes, that's the other thing. You're right.
After experiencing one of the near-death situations and going, okay.
Yeah.
I'm doubting Thomas. You showed me.
Yeah. It's like both
Hello.
sides. It's both sides. It sucks because both sides, atheists, skeptics, super religious people, you guys can both live in the same space. You can have all the evidence scientifically or all the anecdotal evidence scientifically on the skeptic side and say, when you die, you turn to dust and boom, enjoy your life while you're here because that's all you got.
There has to be.
It's
There
so
has to be
weird
more.
that you can have all of these stories and like the kids, when the kids can point at somebody. Have you ever seen those videos where the kids are like, they're less than 2 years old and they're walking around and they're talking to a grandma that wasn't that? I cannot wrap my mind around that stuff.
Not only grandma, but also things that are not as pleasant.
Correct.
Right. You hear those stories, which is
Ghosts.
terrifying.
Well, mommy, look at the boy. He's over there.
Yes.
And mom's going, what the hell?
Yes. I was at
Mommy, they've been playing with that person over there. Dressed in those old clothes.
Yeah. What is that? What's that mansion downtown? The Limp Mansion. So I went and had the chicken lunch one day a long time ago when I first moved back here.
Not the turkey lunch.
Not the turkey one, but the fried chicken thing. And we took one of our nephews, I remember, or I can't remember who it was, but he was a very small kid. And we went down there and we did the Limp Mansion. We said, this is where this guy committed suicide, and this is where this guy was killed. And now let's go have a nice chicken lunch. But what I remember, we were on the steps where they were talking about the fainting couch. And the nephew was just staring across the building at something. And we go, come on. And he wouldn't move. He was staring at something that just wasn't there. I was like, let's go. Come on. And it looked like he was getting ready to go play. There was nothing there. And to this day, I wonder, what was it that you were looking at
You never know.
at the Limp Mansion that creeps me out still just thinking about it?
Is creepy. But think about all of the stories. If you talk to people who work in nursing homes, talk to people who work in hospitals, and they will tell you that people before they pass away, they have visions, they see people. You know, I've experienced it with my grandmother before she passed away. She would see a woman that would come into her room at night and talk to her, sit on her bed and just be silent.
Yeah.
And it was so clear to her that it happened. My grandfather, before he passed away, he remembered all these stories that he'd never told us. And he would see his family members out in the hallway. And we kept saying, no, they're not out there. I absolutely believe that before you pass away, that you do see these different visions. And there has to be something to it. Otherwise, why would so many people experience it?
Yeah. We are definitely
not just lack of blood to the brain and oxygen to the brain.
And it could be. It could be, but I think there's more to it. Maybe that's because of what I saw. I think there's a lot more to it.
And we've continued to invite you to share your stories. And on Fridays, that's what we do. We take an hour and we talk about some of those interesting things, the paranormals. There's no doubt there are spirits. I mean, it's there. I mean, come on.
Really? I haven't seen one.
I haven't seen one either, except on TV. But I
always want. It's like I hear about hurricanes, but I've never seen a hurricane either. I heard about the stories of hurricanes. I see them on TV.
Oh my gosh!
Is it the same
so
thing?
Much the same thing.
Is it the same thing? I hear about these stories. But
I see dead people.
Yeah, it's like I've been on this planet for 50
people.
years. I've been on this planet 50 years, and I see all the cool stuff captured on video, paranormal captured on whatever. I haven't seen any of that stuff. Have you guys ever seen a drawer open by itself?
No.
Have you ever seen a door move by itself?
I've seen some security cams do some things. That's for sure.
Really?
I heard something one time. That
I've talked
was
to
scary.
people who have left homes because of situations that they've dealt with. And
I did.
There's I can't think of his name. There's a college football coach who was Mora, Jim Mora.
Mm-hmm.
He coaches. I'm trying to think where he's at.
Oh,
right now.
I know who you're talking. Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
He coached at UCLA. Now he's at another coach. Anyway, a famous.
He was up at
college
Detroit.
coach.
He was up in. Wasn't he the coach of Detroit?
No, his dad was a coach of the Saints.
Okay.
Anyway, they did a special. He and his wife/girlfriend in a new house that they live in that is haunted, and they took people through. They showed videos that they had, and they have decided to just live with it. And they say that they've kind of just like been welcomed and made friends.
Yeah.
And they did this on a college game day show on ESPN. Oh, it was a Halloween special. That's what it was. So Jim Moore Jr. is who it is, and his wife. They lived in this old colonia. He coaches. I think it's a. I don't know. I think it's an East Coast school. I can't. But anyway,
Yeah.
They detailed all the things that had happened and were happening, and they just at first they were freaked out, and they're like, okay, now they're just there. It's like
Yeah.
you got somebody else there.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think?
Of all the paranormal things that we talk about on this show, or we used to talk about, ghosts, NDEs, the afterlife is definitely, for me, is the most interesting. It is the most interesting thing that we talk about. You can talk about chupacabras all day. You can talk about Bigfoot all damn day long. I'm like, no,
What is a chupacabra?
It's a little dog that wants to eat your head, your face.
I don't believe there's a such thing as a chupacabra. I think
Say that fast
I
five
know.
times.
I'm surprised I said it once. I think it's
What's it
actually
called? Do it one more time.
people are seeing like a fox or a wolf
Wolf?
that has
What's a
mange
wolf?
and no or a coyote and that has no hair. That's all they're seeing.
What about
Carlene says my 12-year-old granddaughter saw a guy standing in the doorway at her hair salon, just watching her and my daughter. The building is over 100 years old.
Yeah.
Laura goes the other way.
Yeah.
Laura said, my middle school student or my middle school child saw Jesus at the altar at church. He was 3 and insisted he was there. He kept pointing and saying, Dad, he is right there. But we couldn't see anything.
That's wild.
I always wonder this: when you die and you become a ghost, do you still have the tags on the back of your clothes? How do clothes get over to the other side?
They don't.
How do you
Spirits
see
are energy,
how do you
Eric.
see
They don't wear clothes.
Yes.
All right, well then how did you see ghosts that were
It's
in
an
period
imprint.
costumes?
It's like an imprint of your
Nancy
energy.
says my grandma came to me at 9 years old. Grammy had been deceased.
How do you get clothes over to the other side?
You don't take clothes. To the
How do
other
you see
side.
people wearing period clothes then?
I just told you, it's your energy. It's like your.
So the clothes have energy as well?
It's
Energy
your,
is all-
it's
energy
your
is all
impression.
around us.
Because it's like if you see yourself
Everything
looking
is
like
energy.
you do now,
Yeah.
when if you come back, that's your energy.
Do you have the Calvin Klein tag on the back of your ghost shirt?
Maybe if that's your thing in life, who
Is
knows?
that your energy? Is that your energy spot? I don't know. The
Are you
tag.
wearing underwear as a ghost?
I've never seen a ghost. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I saw what I think were angels, but I never saw a ghost.
I don't know.
I've never seen.
I asked the
I've
dumbest
heard
question.
Lizzie
scary
reminds
stuff.
us and says kids are so innocent and pure, and that's why they can see things that we can't.
True.
I hate that
We're
we-
told scripturally.
We're doing
to-
a segment that we
Eric,
can't
we're
have,
told
we have
scripturally
no
for those who
answers.
care to be like children,
Yeah.
not like stupid, immature, but to be like children,
Or as
innocent and pure.
tall as a child.
But look on the other side. Can people really be possessed by the devil?
What are you laughing
100%.
at?
Why do you, one of the men that I've reached out to, and it would be my biggest get, is a nationally known exorcist. Performs exorcisms.
Now that stuff
absolutely
terrifies me.
Well, that's why people should stay away, in my
Terrifies
humble
me.
opinion. If you're listening to Vic, stay away from it.
Mhm.
But you need people to perform those, which is why this exorcist exists.
I'm going to bring the Ouija board.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No,
I
you're
quit.
not. No, you're
I'm
not.
out. Bye.
I
Stay,
will. I
you
will
need to
not.
stay away from
I'm
that
out.
stuff.
I'm
Anywhere
literally
near-
leaving right now.
Stay
Just that
away.
you said
Stay
Ouija board,
away
I'm
from it.
leaving.
I won't go anywhere near. a
God
Ouija
help
board.
us. Thank you.
I really will not. I am terrified of them. Terrified.
Then why did you say you would bring it in?
I was kidding.
Mhm.
I'm
Glenn-
terrified of
Glenn
them.
has the line of the day. Glenn says Eric's going to come back in his members only jacket.
Probably.
I don't have a members only jacket.
That's
fool.
not a members only jacket.
No, this is a cool jacket. You know what I'm saying?
What's a cool?
I don't know. It's a leather. It's a warm jacket. How about that?
It's your members only jacket. Oh my God, that's funny.
If I come back as Damien Fairchild, I will kill myself as I'm dead. I do not want to come back as my character on stage.
Have
could
you,
you
ever
imagine that?
introduced yourself
Woo!
as my name is Damien Fairchild?
Yeah, all the time.
I need you to come up with a name for me.
Mm.
And you don't have to do it on the spot.
Vic Stix, Stixx. How about that?
Vic Sticks?
Yeah, Vic Stix. That's a good stage name.
No,
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 it sucks. I'll work on it.
no, that's all right.
What are you doing over there?
Todd says, Vic, remember George Norrie. I know. I'm gonna have to hit the Ritz Cigar Club and hang out there, and I'll find George eventually.
If I come back as a turkey, that's good. And can you come back as an animal?
Oh my gosh.
Some people think you get reincarnated as many different things.
And what's the deal with cardinals? If you see one, you get kind of comforted by
I
cardinals.
would like to know because I saw one the other day that was freaking me out.
So do
I thought you
spirits
see
like
black cats every day.
Stop.
so spirits are able to inhabit a cardinal? Is that what it is?
I don't know the story behind the
You
cardinal.
see what I mean? It can get silly
I don't
quick.
know,
It
but I
can
saw
get
one the
The
silly.
other
slippery
day.
slope. Absolutely.
It can get
silly
silly
quick.
Yeah.
Hey, Tab, we got to take a break, or we're going to take a quick break so we can get Kasha set up. Can you, because you really
That's a
know her
good
story.
stage name, by the way.
What's it?
Kasha.
Kasha.
Yeah, Kasha.
Well, wasn't there a singer in like the last 10 years who was like
I
Kasha?
have
or-
no idea.
Kesha.
Kesha. She was a wild child.
You just made our millennial laugh, by the way. Good job.
I don't know if that's not a millennial.
Are you a millennial?
No, that's the next generation below a millennial.
You're Gen Z? Oh, no.
I told you.
No wonder I was feeling shifty here. I was feeling like a little bit weird. I'm sorry.
Tab, can you promote Kasha Stocky coming up? What we're going to hear?
Kasha Stocky coming up at 9 a.m. She's going to talk to us about communism in Poland. She grew up in communist Poland. She's going to talk to us how that relates to the United States today, because God knows we are heading into communism really quick.
Oh, okay. That's Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Hitters full. That's what it feels like. All right. It's cancelthisshow.com. Go to cancelthisshow.com. We are Cancel This. Mike Wilkerson, producer, Eric Johnson, Tab the Hassle, and Vic Faust from Fox. Or I almost said it. Oh my God. I almost did it.
Uh-oh.
My dad told me that last week. He's like,
You've said it a few times.
yeah.
Now.
My dad said, you
Let's
keep
have
saying that you work at that former place.
What? Did you do it again?
Yeah. I stopped myself. Oh, what? That's why you have to correct me when I screw up. We don't want to. Man, we don't want to. Yeah.
Just remember all the Gen Z producers over there. Then you will never do it again. Then you'll never do it again.
I feel sorry for them.
Welcome to Woke Fridays here on Fox 2 now.
Hey, we are a podcast, 3-hour podcast. We're going to come back with our third hour right after this. You can always go back and watch what we have, creating original content in our libraries. We'll take a quick break. You won't want to miss Kasha. Wait till you hear what she has to say. Back right after this. Share the show.
Stop throwing your advertising dollars into the fiery pit of no return on investment. Start putting your ads and money into a focused, vibrant, and growing audience interested in the truth and getting the whole picture, rather than the one that's shoveled to us. Become a Cancel This advertiser today. The links to do this and more are available at our website, cancelthisshow.com. CancelThisShow.com is on the hunt for amazing advertisers, just like you. Ready to help us share stories of success that come from people, businesses, organizations, and efforts that have been canceled? Connect with us now to learn how you and your business can benefit from a growing, vibrant, focused, truth-interested audience. Become a Cancel This advertiser today. The links to do all of this and more are at our website, cancelthisshow.com. As time goes by, money is only going to get tighter. Don't you think it's time to start advertising to an audience interested in learning the truth about what's going on in today's modern media circus? Connect with us now to learn how you and your business can benefit from a growing, focused, truth-interested audience. Become a Cancel This advertiser today. The links to do all of this and more are available at our website, cancelthisshow.com. Stop throwing your advertising dollars into the fiery pit of no return on investment. Start putting your ads and money into a focused, vibrant, and growing audience interested in the truth and getting the whole picture, rather than the one that's shoveled to us. Become a Cancel This advertiser today. The links to do this and more are available at our website, cancelthisshow.com. CancelThisShow.com is on the hunt for amazing advertisers, just like you. Ready to help us share stories of success that come from people, businesses, organizations, and efforts that have been canceled? Connect with us now to learn how you and your business can benefit from a growing, vibrant, focused, truth-interested audience. Become a Cancel This advertiser today. The links to do all of this and more are at our website, cancelthisshow.com. As time goes by, money is only going to get tighter. Don't you think it's time to start advertising to an audience interested in learning the truth about what's going on in today's modern media circus? Connect with us now to learn how you and your business can benefit from a growing, focused, truth-interested audience. Become a Cancel This advertiser today. The links to do all of this and more are available at our website, cancelthisshow.com. Stop throwing your advertising dollars into the fiery pit of no return on investment. Start putting your ads and money into a focused, vibrant, and growing audience interested in the truth and getting the whole picture, rather than the one that's shoveled to us. Become a Cancel This advertiser today. The links to do this and more are available at our website, cancelthisshow.com. CancelThisShow.com is on the hunt for amazing advertisers, just like you. Ready to help us share stories of success that come from people, businesses, organizations, and efforts that have been canceled? Connect with us now to learn how you and your business can benefit from a growing, vibrant, focused, truth-interested audience. Become a Cancel This advertiser today.
And welcome back to Cancel This, everybody. I'm Vic Faust with Tabitha Hassel, Eric Johnson, and producer Mike Wilkerson. We also have Kasha Stocky in studio today. Kasha became friends with Tabitha, and her story about how she found us is very interesting. Here to talk about what it was like to live under communist rule, come to America, what she sees now, and why Americans should be concerned. And as we've been talking about today, speak up when you get a chance. Because if you sit back and or allow yourself to be canceled or have no voice, you never know what's on the other side of the table. Of course, you can catch us at cancelthisshow.com. Once again, cancelthisshow.com. So we welcome in Kasha. Kasha, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Do you like the studio?
Hi.
Good morning. I love the studio. You guys look so sophisticated.
Well, that's a lie.
And
We're not.
I do not lie.
No,
could
you
you
don't.
say that again?
You all look very sophisticated.
I like that. That
However,
sounds good.
Thanks. She's talking about you.
It looks beautiful.
Talking
I
about
wore
you.
my sparkles for you, Kasha.
She
Look at-
really did.
Vic is blushing when you just said
And
that.
by the way, you can see it through my makeup.
Yeah, you can.
Kasha, before we get into what you dealt with in Poland, you walked in on the end of our paranormal. You said you had a story, or you lived in a place that had spirits.
I lived with a ghost.
Nuh-uh.
Uh-huh.
Like on a personal basis, like you interacted
that
with each other.
ghost
Really?
was sharing house with me. And it
Okay.
was so interesting. When I got the house did not have a ghost. I acquired a ghost through,
So it followed you from somewhere.
you may say that, or return.
Mhm.
Because when I was selling the house, I learned that the previous owner had died.
Okay.
And I bought a house from the guy. I met him.
Yeah.
And right around the time when he died, which I knew nothing about,
Right.
the very bizarre things started happening in the house.
What kind of things?
Yeah, good question.
Like moving me around in the bed.
What?
Really?
It moved you in the
It
bed.
moved me in the bed.
Okay, I'm out.
I'm raising my credibility as speaking about a communism now, do I?
Yeah, you are. You are.
Yes.
You interact with ghosts and you deal with communism. That's good.
The Ghostbuster.
Wait a minute. So how long did you stay in this house?
I sold it shortly after.
Was that over in Poland or was
it
that
was
here?
in Belleville, Illinois.
Ooh,
Not
that's
Alton, not the most haunted one.
but they say Belleville is very haunted.
Bell
also.
Vegas. That's where I went to
That's
high
right.
school in Belleville.
Yeah.
Which one?
Altoff
Which
Catholic.
one? East or west?
See,
I know the question to ask now.
Yeah,
I'm
actually,
so
she is so.
Americanized.
How about
You're St. Louis.
Neither. I went to Altoff Catholic.
Oh, good for you.
Yes, it's a great school.
And look
Great
where you
school.
ended
But
up.
I've heard stories of hauntings in Belleville as well.
Yeah, me too. Actually, it's
Yeah,
very
so I
haunted.
sold the house. That's the bottom line. But it was
Was
not
it
funny.
because of the ghost?
I was selling it anyhow,
Mhm.
but I really was ready to sell it at that
Right.
point.
Did it ever make you feel weird when you were in the shower? Because ghosts, that's the one thing I hate about ghosts is they can see you when
It
you're in your,
made me very weird in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Not the shower.
and
yeah.
late at night at 2 a.m, right?
Yes. Well, so after he interacted with me twice, I let the dog just sleep in the bedroom and it ended.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because apparently there's something between the spirits and animals
Mhm.
that they can.
They
feel
can
them
sense
before?
them. Yes.
Exactly.
Did you ever see the dog like look in a corner? Like what is
No, the dog came and started licking my face. The minute that a second, I felt kind of
Right.
cold again. So like the sixth sense things, you feel cold.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
no,
That
thank
was
you.
like that.
We got. Or do you ever go to Winty on a? We need to do some ghost talk off the air for sure. That is very interesting.
Wonderful.
No,
That is
we
awesome.
will.
Mhm.
Kasha, when did you come to the United States?
So first time around, 18, no, not 18, when I was a ghost,
Yeah.
but when I became Kasha, 1989,
Okay.
1989, episode in California, a couple years there, fell in love with the culture,
Yeah.
tradition.
Yeah.
Went back to Poland in 1994.
Was it your parents that brought you here, or did you come over here?
No, I wish they would. They in Poland. Hi, mom and dad. Dzień dobry. Całuję.
Yeah.
What kind of life did you leave in Poland and when you came here? Because we were talking about some things clearly that mean a lot to you. You're outspoken. You found our show and you jumped in on it. You became friends with Tabitha. What were you? I mean, I believe 1989 was when first free elections were held in Poland. Is that right?
Correct. And I left Poland right before Berlin Wall went down.
Mhm.
So it was probably a couple months before.
Yeah.
I was in California when that happened. But yeah, big challenging times.
What was
when
life
I
like?
left it. So life was still, you don't wake up one day and feel free. It just doesn't happen, right? So we were oppressed that's all I knew
Yeah.
was living in a communism
Yeah.
and looking up for things that I could do according to the government
Right.
rules. So I left Poland
So
because I
they-
wanted to experience freedom.
Yeah.
And I came here and went back to Poland for a couple of years. There was free Poland, so lots of opportunities, and I'm back here.
Yeah. So, like Valenza, he was the guy, the first president, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So all of a sudden, how did you kind of? Because when you're in that environment, how do you know that you're being repressed under communist rule? Do they have a rule book, or is it because were there laws? What was the thing that made communism so bad?
Great question. First of all, that's all you know is to live by the rules.
Mhm.
And how the rules are implemented, you're continuously afraid of something,
Yeah.
and you don't even know what it is.
Right.
You just know that you can do that,
Right.
or you can do this. So I knew that my parents had to apply for passport for us to leave the country.
Mhm.
So that was kind of when I started realizing that, you just don't do what you want.
Right.
My sister was denied a passport, and I guess Tabitha mentioned that. So that was so interesting. As a kid, you learn like step by step, right? Then
Right.
you go to school and you learn that nobody owns it. Government owns it.
Right.
Very bizarre concept.
Right.
And then when the food restrictions showed up, so I think it really became real.
Right.
I think I was pretty young when that hit, but the chocolate bar not being there available for you
Right.
as a 7, 8-year-old, you're
Yeah.
like, okay, how can I not have that chocolate?
And land, something that we've talked about before, Kasha, is right now there's such a push in the United States, and a lot of people don't even see it yet, where they want to take away the ability to own your own home and to own your own land. And in communist Poland, you did not own your land or your home; you leased it from the government.
Yes, we could get the privilege, the right to lease apartment and live there. So there goes your first like shelter, right? Then the food restrictions. So all of that was the government outreach to make
Yeah.
sure that we know our place. You live here, you can have that much food, and owning. It was not easy to own anything in Poland, and I think that. Very significant thing is when we were waiting for the car, like we had one car, my parents sold the car, and the government gave you a right to buy another vehicle.
Oh.
So you could not just go and buy the vehicle. You had to be
Approved.
awarded a
Yeah.
privilege
Yeah.
to have something that was your transportation unit.
So what would be something that would have caused the government to say, sorry, you're not getting a car, or sorry, you can't buy land, or you can't rent land, or whatever
Say
it
your
was?
neighbor went and share with government entities that you are not a good citizen. And
That sounds
snitching
familiar.
on neighbors or friends was a very popular way to gain your own privileges as
Right.
somebody else.
Nazism.
Social credit.
Social
going
credit.
down.
Mark these things
Mhm.
on the board. Keep going. That's
Mhm.
amazing. Because we talk about it on this show. We get canceled a lot because people
No,
say,
we don't.
well, we do get canceled. Well, on Facebook, people can go to Facebook, and it's kind of the same thing. People can go to Facebook and report us for a problem, and then Facebook just says, we're taking away your social privilege. So are you seeing weird things in this
I see your
weird
parallel, Eric.
in this cancel culture right now? Are you seeing like, this is really bad, guys?
Absolutely, yes. It started with like, learning that I've got to do something. I came here to this country not to have to do things. And all of a sudden I'm being told what I can or I cannot do.
Mhm.
So I'm just wired to recognize those things because I grew up with it,
Yeah.
right? It's within me. None of you was born in communistic countries. So it's hard for you to say, bam, that is communism, right?
Right.
Well, for me, that bam happened when I started receiving orders, like you got to stay home for
Yeah.
14, 30 days. You've got to wear the mask.
Yes.
Oh, you have to get vaccinated, by the way, or not going to be able to travel.
Yes.
So more and more, it was like, wait a second, is that really to keep me safe, or it is the government outreach and its best that
Yeah.
I already knew how it feels.
Right.
It feels like the freedom is gone.
Yeah, you don't strike me like the type of woman that you'll listen to somebody who's going to tell you what to do. Not at all.
I'm going.
Or she
to, just not
recognizes-
my
So
head.
you're and you have been speaking up. Do you see Americans cowering? Is that what a message that you have? Do you see us as a country, which you're now a part of, that's lazy, maybe spoiled, and just everything's going to be just fine?
As a Polish American, I can say that convenience is what is holding us down. We like the way of life that's convenient for us.
Okay.
Going back to TV dinners, drive-in.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting because I like that too. But if you're not able to balance, next thing you know, you start losing awareness of what is going on around
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
And I think this is what we're experiencing.
Yeah.
That lack of awareness because, as you mentioned, social media, it is so easy to plug into that little screen, get into chaos
Yeah.
offered through it, right?
Yes.
And lose who you are. What is your life about?
Yes.
And
You're-
do you have one life?
Right.
Or maybe somebody else.
Or
is-
you've given your life away to it. You've actually subscribed to that, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Do you see? So you talked about like the restrictions. Do you see more of it every day from the United States trying to bring that kind of we're in control? Do you see that, or is there a
I
parallel?
hear the fear of
Yeah.
restricted food supply, right? And
Right.
that is just like, okay, really, we don't have enough food, or we're going to put some restrictions on how much we will be able to purchase.
Right.
I'm
Which
glad.
is-
I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I want to throw something in there because it's something that I see the beginnings of happening here is our meat supply. Because one thing a lot of people have talked about, I believe you've talked to me about it, is in Poland,
Number one was the meat.
the number one was the meat, and the elderly were so restricted in what they could eat because they are not a commodity to the country.
Right. I think I shared with you that it was bones they were getting, 65 plus bones to cook the soup on the bones. They did not get the meat anymore. So yeah, very scary thought that somebody can control
Mhm.
your shelter, own nothing, and be happy.
Right.
And the food supply, and then the gas prices that started to be somewhat a parallel to. I believe we had
The 70s with Carter.
but in Poland in end of 70s and 80s, we could only buy 20 liters, which would be not even 10 gallon, maybe 5 gallons per month.
Have you been to? When's the last time you were in Poland, Kasia?
July,
Okay. What?
and I'm going in 10 days.
Okay.
Mhm.
What similarities or differences do you see between governments in Poland and the United States and or people? I'm curious how free Poland is now compared to what you see here in the country.
Mm. Oh, great question. Not. I think we're running pretty similar stories right now. The government is very much suggesting the lifestyle,
Mhm.
and Polish people, I think, are done tremendously well, embracing the freedom, but they also started appreciating maybe more than needed chaos of technology that is
Yeah.
within our reach, right?
Yeah.
And it's easy to lose awareness of what it was like only 30 years ago.
Right.
It's been only 30
It's
years.
the kids. Would you say it's the kids, the younger generation that's kind of subscribing more to this? That the people who remember life under communism,
Right.
they are like, kids, you got to wake up. This is not good. But the kids, for whatever reason, are like, they want these socialistic policies in their countries. Do you
I
see
think
that?
They love them. Yeah.
Why
they
is
love
that?
them.
Why do you think that is?
Mm.
Why is
It's-
socialism
it's
a Bernie Sanders?
rebranding. It's rebranding of the socialism and actually skipping socialism, directly coming into communism. So I was thinking that I got the very raw original version of the communism.
Okay.
We called it communism.
Right.
We knew I lived in the communism and you guys had a freedom.
Well, they were proud of communism. Remember Marxism and communism, and
absolutely.
it's
And the work heroes, right?
comrade means
Mhm.
friend, doesn't it?
Well,
mean-
so
I
when
mean,
you came to the United States, did you understand what a Republican was, a Democrat, conservative,
Absolutely not.
what liberalism was? Okay, so you had no
I
idea.
just love the freedom.
So
that
you
was
loved
here.
freedom.
And you know
Okay,
what? I'm sorry that I'm going to bring it up. I was thinking about what I loved was seeing you Americans, as Americans, being excited about the idea of being an American.
right, patriots, people who patriotic. That has become a
Thank you.
very dark word now.
So, okay, so with that being said, you had no idea what a conservative was, what a liberal was, no idea.
Nothing.
No, but you
Mm-mm-mm.
came in, you were the blank palette.
Absolutely.
What did you end up choosing when it came to political parties or ideas? What did you see that excited you and why?
I'm very faithful to freedom. I
Yes.
came to look for freedom, and I'm still standing by the freedom, whatever it means.
All right.
Since you've been here, what was it, 1989? Is that when you came here first time?
Correct.
Okay, 1989. Since you've been here, I remember in 1989, this place did not feel as constricted to me. Do you feel the same way? Do you feel like, man, you guys have really got to start mellowing out on these restrictions and all this stuff. This government stuff has got to kind of take a back seat to freedom. Do you feel like that the walls are kind of closing in a little bit?
Absolutely.
And
The
why?
American smile is gone. People are afraid of looking at each other, and some of them are still covering faces with masks. And I walk the park, and people are walking around me.
Are we doing it to ourselves, or is it some outside influence that you see? Is it the media? Is it the
We handle
government?
that so beautifully on individual basis. Yes.
Okay.
We are listening, plugging into chaotic networks.
Yes.
And then getting into
So we're choosing a side.
Self-restriction.
You're either choosing this side. Would you think Donald Trump had something to do with the kind of the choosing a side thing? I mean, you don't think it was the Donald Trump, or has it been coming on for many years?
I think it's an ongoing process.
Ongoing process.
Yeah, we're talking with Kasia Stocki. She's a Polish American. She came to the United States in 1989. She came upon our old radio show that we had on The Edge. She's been a faithful follower. She is explaining the differences between freedom and communism, and just putting a word out there. Be careful about what happens, and be careful about being quiet when you see things. Are you concerned, Kasia, what you see happening in America right now when it comes to certain freedoms? Because you did bring up masking and some of those situations as well.
Absolutely. I am concerned because we if we don't research, and that's probably my biggest concern, that looking more beyond what we're being told. And you asked me about what I'm seeing. Propaganda. It's something that is very vivid and probably undetected by most of the people, that we're being fed informations that we should acquire.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Accept without asking questions.
Right.
And everything we see, and you see it, Kasia, you and I talk about this. When you turn your mainstream media news on, you're going to see almost nothing but propaganda. It's state-run media. And most people here in the United States, they don't even see it. Most people in the United States think we are free, when really freedom is just an illusion in this country.
Oh, you put it so beautifully, Tabitha. It is an illusion. Being told what to do, it's got different shades. And you can say it so nicely and so appealing. Or you can bark the order. And that's a tone of the voice. And also labeling, a presentation, a branding of it. And I think the version of the communism attempt of takeover in this country is very colorful. And it's very appealing. It's even sexualized. And therefore, it's so sneaky.
It's trendy, but it's also dark, right? And when you talk about what are some of the tools you see being used right now to shift the consciousness?
Fear. It's very powerful, and it's amplified by the propaganda and censorship. We talked about it, I guess, earlier. You guys brought it up. Freedom of speech is being suppressed. Right.
And it's going through private companies such as we can't say them because we'll get canceled. But it's not the government. The government's like, we have nothing to do with this. It's these private technology companies, right? So it's kind of this
subcontractors. Yes,
it's a perfect storm of delivery mechanisms of this propaganda, and the government being able to step back and go, hey, we have nothing to do with this. But really, like they do.
Organizing a party, right? Just funding the party and not necessarily being at the party.
Correct.
But the party goes on.
Yes.
So, Kasia, what are you doing yourselves to get the message out? Are you active on social media? Are you out explaining your plight and what you saw and basically what you've told us so far on this podcast today on canceltheshow.com?
I actually inspire people to take control over their own lives through awareness, and that awareness comes with the movement. By trade, I'm a physiotherapist, and I work with my clients to make them understand a little bit more how their own movement affects how they feel, and then how those feelings change the way they understand who they are.
Correct.
And maybe even change.
Can you explain what a physiotherapist does?
So it's a little bit more than physical therapist. So you guys probably know what physical therapist is.
Correct.
And
mind, body, spirit.
Correct. And physiotherapist is just a little bit larger umbrella of looking at the body as a wholesome, and body comes with the spirit, right? And if you don't know where you are in space, it starts with physicality, then we have the ghost. But first, at this version that we are,
Yeah.
We are moving, and as we're moving, we go through less or more pain and
Yeah.
more or less vigorous movement.
Yeah.
And then I see people that are in pain,
Mhm.
and they have to pause and realize why they are in pain, and do they need a surgery?
Right.
And
So we're
sometimes we do.
natural, organic remedies.
If there is absolute need for surgery, of course, hello to
Yeah.
orthosurgeons,
Yeah.
or neurosurgeons. But many times, the conservative measures, which I grew up learning about,
Right.
because surgery was not as commonly.
Well, it's surgery is one thing. Like you have a
Used.
broken bone, you definitely cut into it. What do you think about the pharmaceuticals and the toxic nature of what we put into
Uh-oh,
our
here
body?
we go.
No.
No, I meant with her.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I already
Yeah,
know where
yeah.
she's gonna go.
So, we are what we eat, and food is the greatest medicine ever. Do I take a Z-Pack when I need it? Absolutely yes. Do I live off Z-Pack and painkillers? No.
Right.
And goes back to awareness. You know, what is that your body needs? What is that you need to thrive? And going back to what I do is bringing all of those elements, which is the lifestyle choices. Every one of us has certain choices. And as long as we can make a decision, so far we can, what we choose to do with our bodies,
Yes.
it is the form of representation of the freedom at its best.
And you're so knowledgeable. You know, being that we are friends, we have an opportunity to talk about some of these things. Kasha has so many different types of gadgets that if you were her client, Eric, this would be so much fun for you. I can't remember what you have, Kasha. It's some little thing she carries around.
Oh, Healy. Yes.
Yes, this
the
Healy
frequency
thing.
device.
A frequency device. It is so wild. Kasha knows everything there is about nutrition, about these different devices. I love it.
Well, while we're talking about it, how can people find you and or the products that you have through your business? An opportunity to kind of tell people who you are, promote yourself.
Facebook, Kasia Czechowska-Staki.
Okay.
That would be the best way.
How are we?
Private
How are we?
message me.
We can try to put that out. How do we spell
We'll
that?
put a link on the.
I think that
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do it.
excellent.
Go to the
Thank you.
website for sure.
Thank you.
I'm totally into that. What did you think of talking about communism? The government. Well, not the government, but what did you think about the I can't say the word, but the shots, the vaccines. Can you talk about that? Were you like, yeah, it's probably a good idea to get it?
Experimental
Yeah.
therapy.
Did you tell people it's a good idea to get this thing, or were you like,
You know
yeah,
what?
maybe you
I'm
should
all
not?
for freedom.
Yeah.
So I feel like if whatever you want to do it, but make sure that decision is educated. You
Correct.
educate yourself.
Absolutely.
I feel like emergency use only kind of is a little loosey-goosey. And therefore, there is maybe opportunity to learn more about what you are saying yes to, right? So WHY, right? So why? Question is extremely powerful. And I think that asking more of why
Yeah.
can bring a whole new outlook and just enhance decision-making process.
Yeah.
Eric, it's totally all right to ask her about that. We've always said on this show, hey, if you want to get the vaccine, get it.
Absolutely.
Get it. If you want to wear a mask, get it. But if people didn't want to do those, there just shouldn't be this outcry by some
Yeah.
or many that force you into doing something that you don't feel is your freedom,
Yeah.
your right to.
I feel like getting COVID 5 times is enough vaccination.
By the
Probably
way,
so.
people are talking about Heelys and frequencies and using them. Our listeners, I've never
Wonderful.
heard of a Healy.
It's amazing.
What the heck is a Healy?
I didn't even know it.
Ask Kasha.
What's a Healy exactly?
So Healy is a portable frequency device
Mhm.
that has got, as far as I'm concerned, and maybe listeners can correct me if I'm wrong, the only now available in the portable version quantum sensor. So
like
Eric's
that.
lost.
No,
It sounds really cool.
Anytime you bring up the word quantum,
right,
I'm in.
it's just it conversation takes this
Yeah.
to the next level of information field. Quantum field is all that we are surrounded by, but a quantum sensor helps Healy, which is this little device, determine the most appropriate for your state of being frequency specific microcurrent, FSM. And
Okay.
that is what really speeds up the healing process, reduces inflammation, brings up, I guess, vitality level of your body. And I could just say it this in a very simple way.
Mhm.
You have more energy and you feel better.
So what she's talking about is frequency, right?
frequency.
Okay, so they say that the universe has a specific frequency. If you dial into it,
That's
it
right.
can completely elevate everything.
It'll help your blood flow, Eric.
And you
Exactly.
can there's listening
Love the
devices
look
you
that
can buy.
gave me. Sorry.
You've used the Healy, I take it.
I've not used the Healy. I've seen hers, but you can buy these listening devices that you can, like sound machines. When you sleep at night, you can play different frequencies based on what it is you need, whether you need healing or whether you need whatever. These frequency devices are amazing.
Yeah, can you buy it online, or is it something that a professional has to use?
You're going to go and buy Kasha's services,
And we're gonna
she'll
put that up.
use her
People are-
Healy on
people
you.
are
Try it,
already
and
asking.
You can try it when you come and see me for your session. And then I can definitely tell everyone where they can
I
get
want
that.
one.
Is it like
I
wonder
want
if it's
one.
like a massager? Or you like put it into the body?
No.
Oh, you all about
Vic.
that, aren't you? Massage into the body. No, it's just,
What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, I am.
It's not that kind of show.
Tabitha.
Stop it,
Cancel.
Tabitha.
Tabitha.
You guys have bad minds. I'm being
I
legit
know.
here.
It's a good
I didn't know if you like
question.
stick it into a muscle and you press a button and it like zaps some good energy.
Well, I'm
into
glad you explained that because I doubt anyone else understood that.
we
Stop it,
just talk about the
Tabitha.
shots. I guess that's why you went that.
So
way.
as a musician, I always hear that A440 is the free, but it's actually 438. So it's a little bit digressed from A440 is the frequency of the universe. Is that even close to accurate?
That sounds very accurate. You're right on it.
We've
Yes,
talked about that
spot
with
on.
music before
Yeah.
when it gets into frequencies in regards to modern day music being played at a frequency
and
level
a beat level. Like 120 is twice the size of, or twice the
where,
speed of the
where
heartbeat.
there's negative
Yeah.
frequency
Correct.
where most music that we were used to maybe in the 80s 90s was played at a different
Well,
frequency
Which is
A-
why it was better.
well, or made you happier. It didn't make you
Resonates
depressed.
on a higher
Yeah.
level with who we are, how
Yeah.
we vibrate as a human beings. Yes, music can be extremely therapeutic and healing, or can take the body apart.
And Eric,
Mhm.
Kasha has an entire studio and she has all of these different machines
Mhm.
that you can come and check out.
What kind of machines? Just like healing machines, like
Well,
Actually, I do have 3 different types of machines: Pilates, gyrotonic, and Coraline, all in one. And being a physical therapist, let's just simplify, but physiotherapist, in fact,
I love it.
I offer a pretty wholesome workouts along with Healy. Makes it for pretty incredible transformation with the way clients look at their bodies and then take care of the bodies. Because let's not forget, you get one body per
Yes.
customer,
Yeah.
and you are responsible. So maybe we should talk a little bit about the responsibility
No, that's
and
true.
respect.
Yeah.
I've got a question because it seems like we have some educated listeners that are listening. Of course, I appreciate your input when we kind of switch from the communism topic into this whole frequency topic, which
We're
is
way
just fine.
heavier.
Robert says 528 is
Hertz.
love. Yeah,
Hertz.
528 hertz is love. Is that true?
Beautiful. Yes.
Could you use could you get Tabitha at 528 on one of those Heelys?
Oh God.
I knew it was coming.
Love is the
Somehow
last
knew
thing
it
I
was
need.
coming.
She's blushing. That's cute.
Love
That
is the
was
last
cute.
thing I need. I
No.
was just posting about this.
The love is all you need.
I was just
Love is
posting
all
about
you
this
Didn't you ever
stuff.
hear the Beatles?
There's so many different frequencies for so many different things. I was just posting about this on Facebook a week ago, not even thinking about you coming in here and talking about it. And it is just amazing to me what we can do with our body naturally versus, and Vic, or Eric, how we went down this train of thought. You were talking about pharmacology
Mhm.
and that we don't need to rely on pharmaceuticals. We have the power within ourselves to heal ourselves. And thankfully, people like Kasha know how to bring that out in us.
Yeah. We've been brainwashed to think that
We
the
absolutely have.
pharmaceuticals are the way to go with all this Ritalin crap and all this painkiller crap and even aspirin to a
But
large
just think
extent.
of all the things that are set up against us. And this is another comment from the Facebook line. Our electrical system, somebody says, is set up on 60 hertz, which is automatically bad for us in the first place. I don't know if you have experience with that.
60 cycle hum. Yeah,
but
that
if you're already born into this world and then you're hitting that electrical frequency of hertz at that low, it seems as if we're fighting an uphill battle with our bodies from the start.
That's why it's so important for us to spend time outside and not to do the indoor treadmill and call it a workout.
Mhm.
Put your shoes on and a raincoat if it's raining, hit the park
I'm guilty.
and
Guilty.
be with
Yeah.
nature.
I've
Learn
torn up
more
some
about yourself.
treadmills.
Turn the frontal lobe and start thinking.
Yeah.
Get this thinking process about what is going on around you and how you're going to fit in that to make the world a better place, because we're here to make the world to be a better place.
Yes.
What about grounding? Do you believe that people should walk around barefoot?
Absolutely, yes.
Because that's a huge topic in some circles.
Grounding is so important. We were not born to separate our 7,000 receptors per food per customer with the food, with the rubber soil that's going to totally make your ability to reconnect with the earth.
Fascinating.
It is
Okay, I'm not
fascinating.
trying to be stupid here when I ask this question. So, Eric, do you suggest being naked then as much as possible too in your own person?
Back to the same thing, isn't it?
So it's true, isn't it?
Well, your body has to be with nature,
Yeah,
which is the earth.
I suggest that the clothing we're wearing, it's natural,
Okay.
right? Not the smart clothes. How about the cotton clothes? How about the silk clothes?
Mhm.
How about the natural fabric that resonates with our frequency and vibration as a human beings? But definitely spend time outside. And if it's a summertime, reduce the amount of clothing. And you know that vitamin D3, right? When you can get
Bingo.
that. Let's talk about that a little bit. It's
Mhm.
3 hours, 11 till 2 in the afternoon.
Mhm.
40% of the body has to be exposed
Okay.
for a minimum of 20 minutes.
Yeah. Is that why
Right?
people in Florida are so much happier?
This is fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
So if somebody will tell you, go and get vitamin D3 because it's sunshine today, no, go and supplement with vitamin D3. You need to supplement your vitamin all year long unless you
Mhm.
really can take 20 minutes out of the day, every day from May through September. That's a cutoff point where we live in St. Louis.
Right.
Even if you didn't know what you were talking about, I'd believe you just with your accent. You should do.
That's what gives her the
You
credibility.
should do voiceover work seriously with books. Read
No,
books.
We'll keep you busy.
No, you're passionate about something that I'm starting to look a lot into. I think I come from a generation where
I think our listeners and viewers can get something out of this. Well, who
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
want to feel
No.
better and learn about their body? Who doesn't feel worn out at certain times
think about this for a
and
second.
or sick?
We were the Prozac generation. Not you so much.
Not me.
You're a little younger. You're a little younger, but there was a generation. Remember the generation, if you were depressed, the doctor would give you the Prozac and say, now you're good. Well, it turns out it was killing people because they were committing suicide. Or now we're in the Ritalin generation. It's like, oh, my kid can't focus in school, so let's just give him a pill.
And God gave us everything.
I thought
need.
we were in the marijuana generation now.
It's coming. Well, that's this. Well, I don't know. How do you feel about that? The pot thing, CBD,
I
and all
feel
that
like
stuff.
God gave us everything we need, and movement is medicine, and movement is life. So we really have to focus more of what we can do within
Mhm.
again and go deeper to learn what the needs are, how much movement everybody needs to elevate those vibrations. But I love that you brought up the Prozac. It's kind of funny fact. We really didn't have a whole lot of depression in communism. We were too busy looking for where the next meal is
Yes.
coming
Mhm.
from.
Yes.
Oh,
And-
now we're talking real.
Yes. That's exactly right.
Sorry, go ahead. We didn't want to interrupt you.
No, you absolutely nailed it. When the basic rights are being questionable and you may not get the meal the way you plan on,
Right.
then you get busy
Yes.
going and hunting for it on some form. And there was a wonderful system of trading. Like I would trade my chocolate bar for something else, right?
Bartering, absolutely.
Unfortunately, worst situation was with the footwear because we had 2 pair of shoes per year
Yes.
during the martial law. So you just went to the store and bought. If the shoes was too big, it's kind of better. If it's
Yeah.
too small, well, it was painful.
Right.
So yes, we were not necessarily depressed and not much market for the Prozac.
So
in
I
Poland
kinda-
and communism.
It's true.
Yes.
Right. I mean, if you think about it, I dealt with depression. I think we all have. And I lived in St. Louis, Missouri. And I remember I went to this is a depressing city. I don't care what you say. The weather here in the winter sucks. I went to Florida, and I remember that all that kind of depression went away. And we had a beach house, and we had 2 weeks on the beach. And I remember after maybe 4 days, anything I was thinking that was depressing me It vanished.
Yeah, but were you working when you were there?
Uh-huh. I was working when I was
Okay,
down
so
there.
you had the normal stresses that you would normally
Normal
have.
stresses. Yeah, this is back in the 90s. This is a long, long time ago. But I remember thinking to myself, if depression or life gets just too crazy, you move to Florida, the sunshine, the sand, maybe a lighter lifestyle, correct? That would be one way of dealing with depression instead of Prozac.
Back
Would
to
you agree with
nature.
that? I mean,
Absolutely. Yes. And
Oh.
Tabitha was talking about it. God gave us everything. He gave us son as well. So
And can I backtrack to
Mhm.
something that you said about you were too busy? You weren't depressed because you were too busy trying to figure out where your next meal was coming from. So does that kind of relate to if we get rid of all of these social welfare programs, maybe people will be healthier and happier because everything's not handed to them. And maybe they'll all quit complaining about everything under the sun.
people have to have a reason to get up in the morning
Mhm.
and leave the bed.
Yeah.
And that goes back to neuroscience. The brain has to have a why. Why am I getting out of the bed? Well, how about to go and live your life? Go make some money so you can buy the food. I don't know. Or don't make the money, but do something that is going to.
so there's this thing called neuroplasticity. Have you ever heard of that
I love
before?
it. Don't get me started on that one.
You know what I'm
What?
saying?
How long is the show?
No, neuroplasticity is
Mhm.
the brain forming and unforming and programming and unprogramming, correct? It's like
Absolutely.
We could have her back on.
Repatterning the neural pathways is something that
Yeah.
we should focus more on.
Yeah.
Because it is just absolutely fascinating how creating new habits and losing the old habits
Mhm.
can benefit your health and your mood, your emotional and physical health.
and getting rid of pain, from what I understand, is the human
Absolutely.
body can actually unprogram itself from being in chronic pain. Did you know that, Vic? You can
Yeah.
do that through what she's talking about.
I've heard stories. I
fascinating.
definitely believe in it.
Yeah.
And I'm
Cutie helps
all
with
about
it, too.
alternative medicine outside of mainstream medicine. I can't stand medicine. I can't. Sorry,
Right,
I
me
just can't.
neither.
I'd rather do everything natural.
Amen.
And if anybody ever does anything natural, as Kasha knows, and you experience and stay at it, you're gonna see results. It may not, like Kasha said earlier, hey, it may help you to a point. You know, eventually you may have to see the ortho.
Yeah.
You may have to see that surgeon.
Right.
It's true. You
Right.
do. I mean, if you got a heart issue, I mean, you're gonna go have to see
Right.
a cardiologist. You just are at some
Right.
point. But why not do everything you can before you go there?
Is there any problem too big that you're like, I just can't handle this? So if someone has congestive heart failure, for instance, could you work on congestive heart failure?
That certainly would not be my field, and I would advise to,
So then
to
you would-
spend some time with a doctor who can address that. But I do, from design of physiotherapy, deal with imperfections of the movement
Mhm.
in human body, and that is typically related to condition of the muscles, joints, and of course the central nervous system as well.
Right. Yeah.
So
Central nervous system screws a lot of stuff up.
Bingo.
It does. I firmly believe we have the power to heal ourselves
within.
from within. We just have to have someone teach us how to do it, because we have so much of our brain power that we don't use, so much of our energy field we don't know how to use. And if we could actually get all of that together, I really do think God gave us everything we need to heal ourselves, to heal our earth and everything else. We just don't do it.
Because there's a propaganda of the
easy.
healthcare, and
Yes.
let's
Woo!
hear the word
That's right.
healthcare.
Yeah.
Telling you that somebody else is going to take care of your
Yeah.
health.
Yeah.
Unbelievable,
Is that
right?
is that offensive to think that you're absolutely right? Do you think, and I have always wondered this, and this might be above anyone's pay grade in this room, but do you think that we've cured cancer? It's just that the medical industry won't let us bring these cures out yet.
Cancer is curable.
I know, but
And what about cancer being a parasite? I've read so many reports that cancer is a parasite, and that's why the I word that we can't use on the show that was used during COVID times has cured so many forms of cancer.
I'm just going to say that everybody who's listening to the show, look into the parasites, make sure you treat them, and then note how different your lives.
do you
gonna
feel
be.
weird talking about it? Do you feel like it's kind of a third rail that you can't talk about it in public? Do you feel like you're going against the pharmaceutical industry if you talk about it?
Not
With
that I
this-
cannot talk about it. I just feel that people have a hard time even thinking about an alternative way
Oh, I
of
think a lot
treating
of
the
people
body.
are. I think a lot of people are thinking about it now. They are, whether it's through
They are.
something you see on
I
TikTok.
agree. I do.
Yeah, it's. I think people are fed up with the pharmaceuticals and that they're putting in their body, they're done being toxic. Don't you think that? I mean, all the stuff that we're putting in our body has made us so toxic that I feel like you have to go through this cleansing thing before you can even think about getting healthy again.
So the best way to start your detox program, turn off your TV.
Turn off your
And
TV,
then your
except for the show.
thoughts
Mind
Right.
and
will
body.
become
Yeah.
purified.
Yeah.
Go outside, take a walk.
Yeah.
Start simple. Things we can do. Everybody can push this button, power off, turn off TV, and go for a walk.
Moderation and key time with yourself, like you say, no doubt.
Do you have
No doubt.
multimedia? Do you look at Facebook? Do you look at TikTok? Do you look at that
I
stuff?
do look at the Facebook on the stories very briefly. So I have a routine daily.
Mhm.
And Instagram, I have not had a TV for past 12 or 13 years
Really?
in my house.
How do you watch MASH then?
She doesn't even know what that is.
I know what it is.
Okay.
I've watched, I've
kidding.
watched
I'm
it
just-
when I was a little younger.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
And
Like 30 years ago, younger.
Right.
Maybe
the
40
best
years
decision
ago.
I can ever make is just get rid of the cable and all the other ways of
Wow.
streaming TV. Yes. Do I watch movies? Absolutely. Yes. I met Tabitha last night. I like the big screen movies. I'm a lot at the movie theater.
Amen.
But you go there for the purpose to start and finish the same movie
Correct.
and not flip the channels. Brain neuroscience.
Uh-huh.
We are single taskers and we were groomed to value multitasking. It's destroying the brain,
Ooh.
causes dysfunctions in the brain. And we know the most severe dysfunction would be dementia.
So dementia is caused by the multitasking of or overstressing the
Sure,
brain.
multitasking over exercises the brain. And
Yeah.
sometimes the brain is just like, I can't take it.
Yeah.
I'm in big trouble.
What is the first thing you do? See, I'm sure you get some screwed up people coming in that are looking for help. What's the first thing that you do? Are you like, okay, you assess the situation first, but what would be a typical first procedure that you say, we're going to fix you?
I try to learn the lifestyle of the person,
Okay.
their habits.
Yeah, I'm screwed.
Yes, because that is the first thing that we can address.
Yeah.
Because if magic happens in the studio that I own and Tabitha mentioned, all the beautiful movement patterns I'll put in that human body, try to verify through central nervous system, and the person goes back, grabs the phone, drops the head down.
So a lot of liberal companies, Microsoft, Amazon, Adobe, they have the same philosophy that you have. And this might be where I would lose my $100 of where liberal companies are winning the day. When I went to Microsoft in Seattle, they had a soccer field outside. And and they said, if you ever feel stressed, if you ever feel overwhelmed, go outside and throw the Frisbee around. Go outside and play soccer. And I was like, this is amazing. This is a Fortune 100 company letting every 5,000 people come out and have recess whenever they wanted. Same thing over at Adobe in Seattle. They were basically, you can bring your dog to work, focus on one thing, do 10 minutes at a time. And I was like, wow,
No,
that is crazy.
I have a friend that walks on a treadmill sometimes
Walk
when he's
on
on
a
work,
treadmill.
when he's on his laptop.
Exactly. And it was kind of this
When he's
mind.
on the laptop, so he's multitasking.
I think that
Stop it, Kasha.
Yeah, that's true.
Kasha.
She's doing two things at one time. So don't
Yeah,
look
but
at your
so
phone
is-
as you're on the
But you need
treadmill.
to be outside is the key. You have to, your body is
Yeah.
meant to be
Is
outside.
we always talk about liberal
The
and
sun,
conservative
the
stuff.
moon, the stars, the ground.
Yeah.
All of that works
Is it?
with your body.
Do you
We
think
did
that-
have a listener that said, "Oh, this is great. I'm going to tell my boss no more multitasking."
Well, if you listen
Courtesy
to
of Kasha.
yeah, if you see, she's right. She's right. You can get more. You can get more efficiencies out of a person. You can get more. You can get a more dedicated person. You would think if you're happy, right? So there is something to
Using
be
corporate
said.
America, where your productivity goes up,
Yes.
and every interruption takes 7 minutes to get you back in the
Ooh.
trace of thought you had.
And
That's a
exponential
lot.
over time.
So
Yeah.
that's why people claim they can work so much more efficient when they by themselves in the office
Yes.
because they don't get those interruptions. Like so, 3 times interrupted within an hour. It's what is it? It's almost 20 minutes to get you back on the track. Over 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And so it seems like 50 different things a physiotherapist can do.
think about and share with you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you ever
I
find
love
do you ever find yourself like going, I'm working on 3 things at the same time. I need to knock it off.
I try to stay on task that I choose and like to finish. But sometimes it happens that I have to be like split. It's exhausting. It really is.
Yeah.
I was watching Poland playing Argentina and Mexico playing Saudi, and it got to the point that no more goals here and no more goals here unless Poland is scoring.
Talking about the World Cup.
Ended up with the splitting headache.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't go so well for Poland. But I'm
You
sorry.
think so?
Oh, we know the
Okay,
pain.
so
Trust
I
us.
will challenge you. We are one of the 16 teams that made, along with America, into
Yes, into the
next
round of 16.
step. And last time Poland did that, it was 1986.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
I was
go
talking
Poland.
about that specific game because, like the Americans, they lost in their
Why
round
did you
of
have to shove it in
16.
her face?
I
That's
didn't.
rude.
No, I
That's
didn't.
so
No, that
rude.
wasn't
Just
rude at
being
all.
authentic, and we should be authentic.
Yes.
No.
Yes. She's talking about this fresh. She's got watching this
Yes.
and that. and
Yes. Yes.
That's how I felt watching the
Yeah.
Americans lose when they lost in the round of 16.
I thought they did good.
I
I
was
thought
like,
the Americans
score,
did good.
please score a goal.
Can I throw something in? And I know this is completely off topic, but I want to throw something in that Kasha recently went through. Her son attended the school in St. Louis City where they had that recent
What?
shooting.
The
Oh.
mag school or the
CSMB.
CSMB? Yeah,
Mhm.
that's right. What,
And that was a
Performing
really,
arts school.
that was a really tough time
He's
for
in
you.
CSMB. Yes, it was. Let me tell you, I had probably 2 or 3 stepping stones that like separates. This is my other life, and that is my present life.
correct.
That is the new life. The life is not the same after you get a phone call from your son saying we had an active shooter in the school. I'm okay. I'm on the parking lot, but I passed by the girl. I'm pretty sure she was dead.
Ooh.
That is
Mm.
an aftermath of it.
Yeah.
Change his mother's life forever. Sending his son to school, knowing that he's just going there to learn,
Mhm.
and next thing you know, there's a person with different plan for the students for that day.
Yeah, a teacher lost her life in that
Covering-
shooting. I believe another
yes.
girl was shot, right? One
And that was
person
the
lost
girl
their
my
life.
son was referring
And
to.
it's interesting that comes up because we need to give police and security credit because from what I've been told, they saved so many lives that day, probably including your son's, that wasn't mentioned in the St. Louis media or by the mayor at that time in regards to a massive way at how good police are, why we need police presence,
Yeah.
and how fast they acted in that school. I didn't know if you guys were informed of any of that, but I was told by police and people on the ground, it was amazing to watch St. Louis police do what they could do when allowed to do it or forced to do it.
Incredible. That time that police officers showed up and resolved the situation
Mhm.
was probably the
Yeah, we
greatest ever
a lot of lessons can be
accomplishment.
learned.
I cannot say how grateful I am for our St. Louis Police Department, and
How old
the
is your
fact that
son?
my son is well, no, how
Oh,
old is he?
yeah.
He's 17.
Okay, so you got to deal with that. That's kind of some trauma you have to deal with. Is that
It was
correct?
very sad because he did not want to stay home for 2 nights. The kids were moving as a pack, and that was the best for them to be together. They wanted to feel safe.
Mhm.
And therefore, I was in this isolation. But it's not about me. It was about him, and he's doing really
Yeah.
good right now. Thank you for asking. As a matter of fact, I spoke with him this morning at the breakfast table. I said, Karol, you've gone to Poland. You went to different camps related
Yeah.
to underground Polish army, trying to get the Nazis out of Poland, and then the communistic forces that came from Soviets also. So what was the most moving that you learn about communism?
Right.
That you still remember? He was 12, 11 back then. He said, Mom, it wasn't necessary that people were told what to do, is that they were killed if they would not do that.
That's right.
The number of executions. I wanted to share that because
In a
that
Do
country-
you fear
in
that
the
could happen
communism,
again? Because we always say history repeats itself.
Yes, it does.
anything can happen, and especially when you go that direction.
Yeah.
Well,
In
you
a-
certainly had a lot of message for our listeners and viewers today regarding the communism that you remembered that appears to present itself, I believe, as socialism. Just recapping what you've told people as you've joined us during this hour, to not be quiet, to not just sit back and think everything is going to stay the same in America, that the comfortable lives are just going to stay, to not think that there are other forces and people that want to destroy America from within, and the other aspect of taking care of our bodies. I'm going to check into the Healy because there are too many people jumping
I
into
want a
this as
Healy.
well.
I want a Healy.
Come and try Healy. And
I want to
then
buy a Healy. Can
definitely
I buy a Healy?
buy one. Everybody's supposed to have a Healy. That's the dream of
I cannot believe I have never
inventor
even heard of a Healy.
Healy. Yes.
And
I
I'm supposed to
know.
have one of these?
Everybody should have
I want
one.
one.
It's one per household because everybody can share Healy within the household and or outside of the
use it?
household.
Do you
But
use it every day?
I use it every day. Yes,
Every day?
I already
I
used
need
it
one.
this morning.
I need one,
Mhm.
Vic.
We're going to get them.
Vic, buy me a Healy.
I will. I
Okay.
promise you.
want
Cancel
Healy.
this Healy.
And you're gonna have to
It's
come
coming.
back sometime because
I'm
there's
going to put it on there. You wait and see.
so many
I'm
comments
going to
on
have a
the comment
partnership with
line.
her.
Good.
I love it.
Um,
I'd love to be back.
We're
And,
selling Heelys.
I
We're gonna
I
sell.
just told you. We're
No,
going to talk
I
to you
just,
when we get off
that
the
was
show.
my idea. That wasn't your idea.
Okay. Well, you get it.
They are amazing devices. Amazing devices.
Kasha, thanks for taking time to join us today. We'll get you back on to talk about the brain and
Yes, neuroplasticity. And
neuroplasticity.
Yes.
Yes.
and we will talk about identifying your problems and how the brain can fix your damn
No,
problems.
brain won't fix it. You will fix it.
You will
You're
fix the
gonna be a
brain.
brain IT.
Yes.
The brain is just a processor. You're the IT.
What did I say this morning?
bingo.
That's exactly right. Programming the mind right there. Good job.
Natasha's going to hopefully attend our kickoff party once we get that scheduled, and everybody can come up and
And
talk to Natasha.
by the way, we're going to do that Wendy's in the Chesterfield Valley. We're going to have to find a Thursday
Thank you.
because Eric is too busy on Friday and Saturday nights with his band.
Well, I'm not too busy. It's just I'm
Where do I
spoken
dance
for.
this weekend?
Huh?
Where do I dance this weekend?
We are going to be in
Oh.
Kansas City, Missouri, Power Light District. Power Light District. Come on out.
Maybe we'll take a road trip.
Yeah.
Tasha.
We have there's a bunch of jets in the hangar over here.
That's
We'll just
right.
take them
I'll
over.
learn how to fly one.
Got the keys, right?
Got-
Kasha Stocky, thank you for taking
Thank
time
you.
to join us. And to all of our listeners and viewers, thank you for watching Cancel This Day. Of course, we're live Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 a.m. Central, but check out all of our podcasts, our shows, our original content right there, which is what this podcast is all about. And don't forget, as we get closer to Christmas, it's all right to say Merry Christmas. You can say Happy Holidays, but don't be afraid to say Merry Christmas.
You got that right.
It's all right to do that. For producer Mike Wilkerson and Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel, I'm Vic Faust. This is Cancel This. Be sure to share our show if you like what we do. Let people know what we're doing. And you can check us out at cancelthisshow.com. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you next time.
I feel like I need to applaud myself.